out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are to the Apartment 5B podcast, hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me in effect as always. Always welcome on the Apartment 5B. Always got a spot at the table. My brother JP. What's going on, man?
What up, my brother? Appreciate you for having me again.
Oh man, you already know it is always open table. Queens Mayor over here. Kel, what's good, baby?
Good, Kill. Good to be back.
Bro, I don't know why you just don't really dead ass run for mayor. Like, seriously, man. Like, I know that's always like, yeah, you the mayor. You might as well run, bro. Like, who is y'all borough president right now?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
All right. I'm sure he's not doing the same job you could. I'm sure he's not doing the same job you could be doing, man. Again, we not trying to get Cal you need to be something of Morgan. I don't know if you're ready to be the president, but you definitely need to be something of Morgan. You know, community relations specialist or something, alumni, director of alumni relations or something. I'll make a title for you, my nigga, because you are definitely the Morgan, the prez up there. My bro, Vague out of BK, what's going on, fam?
I didn't know niggas had diamonds on their hat. I would have worn my other hat.
Working.
Damn.
Yo, Shirt King still making
like
shit?
He 15 years old. They look like he's 15 years old, man. Man, you looking real young, son. Like
I lost a lot of weight, man. 35 pounds, man. Thank you.
Dope. That's dope. Damn, you lost 35 pounds, bro?
Mm-hmm.
That's dope, man.
Probably got 30 more to go. So
okay.
That's
gotta
what's
work
up,
it
man.
out.
That's what's up.
This fucking ice cream I had to try, man. Just posted it online. And I'm eating this shit. I'm like, yo, this is wild sweet. Like I shouldn't even eat this shit, but I just count them calories. So.
Bro, I feel you, man. I was in the gym the other day and they walked in on me. I'm like, God damn, like you are a real adult now. Like you used to have to come to the gym with me. Like I'm in the gym working out, her crew pull up on me. I'm like, damn, man, this is crazy, man. It's crazy. But y'all know me. Let's jump right into this. As always, I quote Redman. I give credit because I'm cautious about lawsuits. It's this boy named Brian Ragu at Cheese Talk _podcast. I saw this joint, and he had this joint where you had back in the day on Twitter, it was always choose one. You know what I mean? And they put up 4 albums, and you had to choose one or whatever. This was kind of like the flip because he put 4 basketball scenarios up, and you had to pick which. You always choose one to go. This one is like, which one do you want to stay? So it was MJ never retires the first time. Kobe and Shaq never split up. Bron and Kobe go at each other in the finals, or D Rose never gets hurt. Which one would you pick out of those 4 to come true? And I was like, it's a dope idea. I'm gonna throw hip hop in it, but I definitely wanted to get aboard. So again, Brian Ragu, definitely his idea. I want nobody to be like I'm out here shark biting. I give credit where it's due. So shout the boy for that. But for that one right there on some hoop shit, real quick before we go into hip hop, which one of those 4 would you want? I know for me, at first reaction was MJ never retires. That means he may go off for 8 chips. Then I had to remember, I didn't fucking like MJ when I was a kid. I was raised a Bad Boys fan. So now I'm like, well, no, that just adds to the legacy. So I'm going to go with D Rose never gets hurt. Because I don't know, for the young boys out there, I don't know if y'all be talking about you watched him play, not on YouTube, niggas. I'm not talking about clips. I'm talking about on your television. You're watching live games. D Rose was a problem. D Rose was jumping out the gym. D Rose was Like, yo, what can you say? I do damage. Like, that nigga was doing damage in the league. And, you know, it was just injury after injury after injury. It was sad to see. So I'm going to go with D Rose never gets hurt. What about you, JP? Which one would you want?
I think selfishly, it would have probably been Braun and Kobe in the finals.
Okay.
But I think I kind of agree with you, man. Derrick Rose was special, dude. Like I feel the way about him like I felt about Grant Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like Grant Hill was crazy for the injury. So Derrick Rose was something like that. So it's kind of I'm teetering. I'm leaning more towards Derrick Rose because I would have loved to see a full career of that brilliance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I might have to agree with you on that one.
All right, what you got, Kelv? I know you ain't going with Jordan because this nigga has not even owned a pair of Jordans. This is how you know you a diehard Knicks fan. You don't own a pair of Jordans because of Jordan and Knicks. That's how you know. To me, that's my new litmus test. When niggas be like, I'm a Knicks fan, nigga, you got on Jordans. Nah, nigga, nah. My man Kelv has never owned a pair of Jordans. He hit me one day trying to get a pair of Jordans for his wife, and I was like, he was like, man, this is even hard to do. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the dedication this man has as a Knicks fan. Which one are you going with, Kel?
I'm going with Derrick Rose too. It's funny you said it. It was someone posted something on Twitter a few months ago, and almost what JP said. It was like, whose career would you want to continue after injury? It was Grant Hill. It was Derrick Rose. It was Brandon. This dude from
Brandon Roy.
Brandon Roy, and Penny Hardaway. So yes, I was like, I know injuries and stuff, but so yeah, Derrick Rose, same thing. I'm like, yeah, I love Rose play.
With that one, I would have to go with Penny though. I know everybody loves Grant Hill. Penny was, oh man. Penny still got this move I've never seen nobody ever do before, where he does some ill like behind the back dribble and he like hops into the jumper that I've never seen nobody ever do ever again in life. Like, so I would have to go with Penny on that. Babe, which one would you go with?
Yeah, Penny was my favorite ball player back then. Like,
yeah,
I was a diehard Knicks fan back then, but Penny was playing against her. I'll just be quiet. Like, let them fight it out. I think I'll go with D Rose only because of the he didn't really get to do much. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, the other ones got to do a couple of things. Obviously, win championships and stuff like that. A close second would be the Jordan joint because I don't know if they would have got 4 in a row because I wanted to see them against the Rockets.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that was the team that was kind of holding it down when he was gone. I wanted to see the Bulls against them, but it just never happened. Even when they had, because I forgot about this, even when they had Charles Barkley and Scottie Pippen, remember they almost went to the finals to face the Bulls, but John Stockton hit that shot.
Right.
And that was it. And I was like, damn, we almost had that. But yeah, you look at them D Rose highlights, he's not only fast with the ball, the nigga's fast in the air. Like, that shit didn't make no sense to me. He was doing unbelievable shit. Like, a lot of the things that people give Kyrie props for just looking unbelievable, D Rose was doing that also. Like, his crossover was crazy. His first step was crazy. So, yeah, man, it's sad. It's like, damn, D Rose. Like, shit. But, yeah.
All right, bet. Let's go into this first one I got. First one I got is Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Don't Break Up. Big and Jay-Z do the Commission album, produced by the Hitmen. You know what I mean? So coming off Life After Death. DOC never loses his voice. And Nas and Primo actually did do an album in the 90s.
Well, first of all, I think I fucked up because I have like 4 or 5 scenarios, but I don't have 4 scenarios within one.
So whatever we got, that's what we gonna run with.
Yeah, we're gonna rock with it. Yeah.
But this one for me, I'm gonna go with DOC never loses his voice.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking about the music we could have had for years to come.
True.
The thing about DOC, for people watching may not know, he's still down with Dre. Like, this nigga has been there throughout Death Row, throughout Interscope, throughout Aftermath. I mean, he's still there now. So I'm just thinking about the countless albums that we could have got out to DOC while Dre was still in his heyday. You know, if DOC's first album came out in 88, 89, we would have been getting another one right around the Chronic. And we see where he was with that. You know, we probably, if it was after that we may have got one in between Doggy Style. So, and then I think just with DOC, it was just so ironic that it's just like, yo, this dude, I remember being a shorty being like, yo, how you get in a car crash and lose your voice? Like, it just didn't even add up to me as a kid. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, yo, that's crazy ironic that you a rapper and you lost your voice in a car crash or whatever. So for me, DOC is like one of the biggest what ifs. I know, Veg, we did a what if show, and we were talking about, you know, if DOC never lost his voice, yo, does Cube win the battle? You know, we get a Cube versus DOC battle. You know what I mean? Now that would have been crazy. You know what I mean? Them two going at each other, that would have been, you know, some kind of special. So that's my vote. JP, what about you? Which one you going with?
Give me the list again.
Is Pete Rock and Sell Smooth Never Break Up? Mm-hmm. Big and J Do the Commission album, produced by, you know, even if we just said the same producers from Life After Death. So the Hitmen, throw some Primo, some Havoc. It's the production we want. You know what I mean? DOC Never Loses His Voice, or Nas and Primo did an album from '95.
I would say the Nas and Primo, because those the group home beats would have been Nas's. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like that's like, so I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that because I think, I mean, momentum is everything, and this been one of those like tall fables from the '90s, like this big mythical thing that never happened that everybody wanted. So I think for me, having that having that album, that quintessential, it probably would have went neck and neck with Illmatic. People would have skipped over, you know what I'm saying, it was written, and would have probably been comparing Illmatic and that album probably. So I'm gonna go with Nas and Primo.
All right, no doubt. Cal, what about you?
It's gonna be different. So you expect me to pick Nas as Queens, but I'm not. I'm gonna pick Big and J.
I don't even think that's humanly possible. This may be the first time.
We were just talking. You were just telling me.
Yeah, this may be the first time in the history of life that you have not picked a Queens person. Okay, do tell. I need to hear why you picking the Commission.
I think we talked about it in the previous shows too. I like Brooklyn Finest. I mean, I love Del Better, but I like both those records. So hitting them both together on a full album, I thought that would have been dope to have that album come to fruition. So I think just the way they would collab and the way they work together, I think that would have been a great album.
Now here's the thing that I forgot to mention. Remember, the Commission is not just Big and J. You got Charlie Baltimore. I mean, that just goes to show you how you fucking the right person, you get a record deal. Because I don't know how Charlie Baltimore gets in this equation. Right, yeah. Okay, Little C's is in the Commission. I feel like the Commission is now like on Dead Presidents. When he was like, we gotta put a damn ad in the paper. We getting everybody like. Now everybody's like, I was supposed to be part of the Commission. No, I was in the Commission. No, nigga, me and you was in the Commission. Like everybody was in the Commission. So, but I do think that would have been a crazy album. I do think that would have been a crazy album. Veg, I'm interested with Brooklyn. What about you?
Shit, you already know. Big and J. Probably more so because of the time, right? Like lyrically, they both were like probably at the height of their skill, you know what I'm saying? The production at the time, like, it was real competitive in the hip-hop game, but even on the producer side of things. And even with those other people in, like, you know, as long as you use them properly, they might be all right. Because I like C's on Crush on You, right? So,
yeah, true. And Big would have been writing everybody rhymes anyway, so, I mean, what the hell?
Like, they would have had the hardcore joints, they would have had the party joints. The Charlie Baltimore one would have been a little bit of a problem for me, because I'm like, how do you not have Little Kim? Like, this just doesn't make any sense to not have her as a part of that, especially when Foxy with the Firm. But I could see it just being crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, just them kind of, because they kind of competed with each other when they would write verses. So in a lot of ways, that just gives you better music as far as the MCing and then they're like-minded when it comes to the music making. So it just would have worked. They're both good at, you know, making party records and having bars in it and all that. So I was looking forward to that. But to your point, when they started saying, you know, like everybody, and they're like, whoa, what you mean everybody? Like,
right. I don't need a compilation
with Ghost. What was the name of that joint? With Ghostface, remember? Troy Bolton.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I like
What
that.
you talking about, the Theodore unit or whatever?
The what?
Nah, Charlie Baltimore got
Charlie
this.
Baltimore and Ghostface.
Oh, Charlie Baltimore and Ghost had that joint. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, and I got an R&B one.
Okay.
Sade doesn't take 20 years to make albums. D'Angelo and a Raphael Sadiq collabo album. We get music from Prince's vaults from 83 to 88. And we get an entire Timbaland album produced, entire Aaliyah produced Timbaland album before she dies. I'm going with Prince's vaults from 83 to 88. Because gotta be some crazy shit in that batch. I mean, this is Prince just, to me, I mean, this is Purple Rain, the sign of the time. So, you know, I could only imagine what did, you know, make the cutting room floor, some of the demos of, you know, Ballad of Dorothy Parker, Housequake, or just, you know, whatever. So I'm going definitely with the Prince vaults. What about you, JP?
I have to agree, man. Prince from 83 to 80, please, absolutely. Like, I can't imagine the type of stuff that he would have in the vault, that sounds of that era. Right. I mean, I think back then he was like experimenting with the Lindrum and all that. Like, he was doing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I would love to hear that. Definitely.
Yeah. Cal, what about you?
Yeah, it's got to be Prince. I just saw something earlier today. It was talking about Prince MPC 3000 or something like that for sale or something like that.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
It's definitely Prince. No question.
To me, you can't sell it. That's gotta be like down here at the African American Museum. Right. Like if Dilla's MPC is in there, you can't sell Prince's MPC on no eBay. Like, come on, stop, y'all. Like, you can't do that.
It sounds like whoever's controlling the state is doing some crazy stuff right now. So
yeah, come on, you can't sell Prince's MPC on eBay. We not doing that, man. We ain't doing that. Hey, what about you?
Prince, man. Like, I remember not too long after he passed, I don't know if they put out an album or I just heard it on the radio. It was actually, it might have been an album or something like that, but it was a session of him practicing, and the fucking practice sound like an ill song, and I was like, this could be put out like this. And I think it was him playing the piano, singing.
Oh, the piano in the joint. I know what you're talking about. It was like yeah.
And I was just like, damn, it's like that video of Marvin Gaye rehearsing, singing,
laying down
on the couch,
right?
Laying down, like, damn. So it's that easy? Okay,
right.
But hell yeah, some shit in the vault from Prince, like a creative mind like that. Nah, I love D'Angelo. I love all the other people, but nah, give me that shit.
Right, no doubt. All right, JP, what you got first?
All right, I'm gonna go with something. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna go straight with it. Big L actually signs to Rockefeller.
Okay.
Grand Poobah never leaves Brand Nubian. Doesn't go solo. Busta stays with LONS. And the Locks never signed to Puff. They just come out strictly Rough Riders. So for me, I'm going to go with Grand Poobah staying with Brand Nubian. For me, I think, and you know, Grand Poobah is one of my favorite MCs, but I think had they stayed together and did at least 3 more albums together, I think we will hold them in higher regard. Not that we don't now, but I think they would have been a bigger group. You know what I'm saying? Because they really just had that one. I mean, you know, they came back afterwards, but they really just had that one album, and then it was. I mean, you know, Lord Jamal and Sadat did pretty damn well with themselves. Like, I was surprised, but if they would have stayed together, like I think they would have had a couple classics album, like real classic albums. So that's why I would go with Grand Poobah, staying with Brand Nubian. So
All right, so it's Big L, Brand Nubians. What's the third one?
Busta stays with LNS, and the Locks never signed the Puff, and they straight Rough Riders.
I'm gonna go with Poobah with you. I'm gonna go with Poobah. I've never been one of the people who's like, yo, L's career. I mean, I guess it would have been different if he signed to like Rock at that time. You know what I mean? Like, Big L is just Big L to me. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, I guess give him some. But even when Rock first started, was Ye and Just even really rocking with them like that at that point? When like Rockefeller first started? Nah, because when Rockefeller first started, when were they talking about L signing to him? Was this like?
It was
because L died before 2000, so 2000 is like when the Blueprint came out with Ye and Just. So we're more so talking in those early Rockefeller years. It was still kind of like producers for hire, Clark Kent here, Primo here, things like that. Right. So and the Locks, I feel like the Locks. I mean, it's weird. I think they'd still be where they are right now, even if they surpass the Bad Boy thing. So yeah, I'm going with Poobah. And Brand Nubians, because you're right. We hold them in a high. And it's funny because different generations hold different places. Like Nick, who would always be on the show, he was like, he fucks with the second album more than he does the first album because he was too young. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't in his bag when One for All came out, but when the second album with Punks Jump Up to come, he was a little bit older. So you have some people who, when they hear Brand Nubians, they don't even think about Grand Poobah at all. You know what I mean? Which is crazy, but I get it because the age. That's true. You know what I mean? So like for him, you say Brand Nubians, this started with Punks Jump Up to get beat down. It don't start with Wake Up or Slow Down or One for All and that stuff. So yeah, if they did stay together, I agree. What about you, Kel?
It's Brand Nubian. Brand Nubian. I've said this before. I think One for All is the most bootleg album in the history of hip hop. Seriously, I mean, I didn't know anybody that had a real copy of that album. It was just all over the place. But it's like Jamaica Avenue was just everywhere, just bootlegged. I'm like, is anybody behind the real album of this? But classic album. I just think of just Poobah on the features, Mary, the one goes around, comes around, just a solo album. If you carry that through Brand Nubians, that's
He could have had some of them joints on their album. Like he could have had on the Brand Nubian album, like a solo joint. Like, but go ahead. Sorry about that.
No. Well, good. No, I think that who knows where Brand Nubian would be as far as like you said, they'd be at the top of what people consider top groups more so than what they are now. I mean, I think people still think they're dope, but who knows what could have been.
Right. What about you, man?
Same thing, man. As soon as he said Brand Nubian, I was like, yep, that's the one. Because I think something was lost when they split. You know what I'm saying? Some of the magic was lost, even though, they were, like you said, Sadat and Lord Jamar was still good at what they did. Poobah was still good at what he did, but there was something magical about that All For One album. And the same thing happened with EPMD for me. Like, they weren't even broken up that long, but it felt like when they came back, I was like, these old niggas. And I was a big fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it just felt like, damn, they shouldn't have broke that chain because now I don't see it as being the same thing anymore. So, and I think it would have probably been better. Like, you could put Grand Poobah on Punks Jump Up to get beat down. And it was no different. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I'll take that one.
All right, no doubt. Kel, what you got for your first joint, man?
All right, so all my stuff is all legal based.
Queens. Oh, I thought it was
it's in Queens. It's in Queens Plus. You know that. So, 2 Live Crew loses their lawsuit again. As far as bad as they want, as nasty as they want to be, where the parental advisory stickers on there. If they lose that suit, who knows where? That's one scenario. The Bridge Is Over never comes out. Queens. Where's that never comes out?
Go ahead.
I look at Gil's face. Pharoah Monch sued over
The Godzilla.
Godzilla beat. Yeah, exactly. Simple. So, it gets removed from his album. Obviously, 20 years later, it gets, it's cleared and stuff like that. And then Biz Markie wins the lawsuit for a sample, the sample for Alone Again, where, obviously, that's all samples cleared album after that. And, changes hip hop as far as sample stuff.
That's good. That's good.
So which one you picking, Kel? You got to start it off.
No, I got stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, the bridge is over. That's the only answer.
Oh man,
It never comes out.
That's low hanging fruit right there, man.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this, and this is great because I got nothing but New York niggas on here with me. How much did The Bridge Is Over really fuck with Queens hip hop? And the reason why I'm saying that is because from an outsider, I'm looking like, I think sometimes when people talk about The Bridge Is Over, it's talked about like it literally was an atomic bomb that destroyed Queens. And Queens wasn't shit until Nas came out. But y'all still had Run DMC making music. You still had LL still making music. You still had... So I'm just wondering... like, I mean, every Super Lover, see, there was countless MCs who were still coming out of Queens. It killed Shan's career. Yeah. It may have killed Queensbridge. It may have killed that, but did it really fuck with Queens outside the bridge like that?
As a person coming from Queens, remembering when that song came out, that song was so big. And it made the whole of Queens look bad. Like, it really did. But the song was fire. And to be honest with you, my personal opinion, and I'm not being biased, I've always thought The Bridge as a beat was a better beat than The Bridge Is Over.
Man.
Personally. That's personal thing. But it's no denying that The Bridge Is Over left a stain on the borough a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, we have so much else going on, but that was one of the things, like, they got that off. It was KRS-One. It's KRS-One. Like, it was no denying it, man.
Kill that. Here it is, 2024. People still coming to like Queens keeps on fake. I mean, people still saying that. People still saying that, right? Even though we got. I'm biased. We got the best MCs out of everybody, but people still. We got the best producers out of everybody.
What you say?
They turn around real quick on that. They turn around real quick on that. Like, whoa. We about to get the BQE popping in here. Yeah, because I've always just wondered, because again, like I said, when people talk about it, it's just like, yo, Queens was dead in the water till Nas, and I'm like, no, the fuck it wasn't. Like, maybe Queensbridge was dead in the water, but from an outsider looking in, I'm like, niggas, y'all still got y'all had a plethora of MCs way before Nas that was dope. I was listening to fucking Denise Williams Free the other day. I cannot hear that song and not sing Mike Geronimo Shit Is Real. It's impossible. Like, as much as I love Denise Williams joy, like, in the back of my head, I'm like, shit's real now. Like, you can't even. So Queens was still doing y'all, but I was just interested to know, as Queens representatives, like, you Tribe was fucking from Queens. Like, I felt like it didn't slow anything down, but maybe being in Queens, being in New York, maybe niggas was like, man, fuck y'all. So it was like something I don't know about. But from outside of New York, it was like, okay, I never felt like it destroyed the borough. But then you hear Nori talking like, I was in jail, like, fuck you Queens niggas and all that. And I'm like, damn, like, it really, so it may have affected y'all more because y'all were there versus us looking from the outside in.
Yeah.
But to answer all that, so you're going with that. I'm going with Biz's lawsuit. If Biz wins that, because I think that changes. It's bugged because, again, I've learned in 50 years there's a gift and curse with everything. So I was going to say at first, it opens up the floodgates to bring all the sampling back. People aren't scared to be sued. But I remember Easy Mo B telling a story that those sample laws made him have to start chopping more. So it made him make beats like Flavor in Your Ear. You know what I mean? Where it's not whole sample pieces. So again, I would still just say that just off top, but because at least it would give you the freedom. But then I also do, and JP, I don't know if you agree with this, it's kind of like when I read this interview with Pete Rock and it made sense. He was like, yo, when you know you only got 10 seconds, your mind works different than when you got 3 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like it puts you under a certain constraint. You know, while you're messing with the 10 seconds, you're wishing you had more, but you realize I got to come up with new shit. I've got to put the record on 45. I got to do this. I got to, you know, it makes your mind work harder because you don't have a lot. So, but I'm going to go with the Biz. That Biz doesn't lose that lawsuit. JP, what about you? What you going with?
So, Kev, you got the Biz. You got
Two Live Crew. You got the Bridges Over Never Comes Out. And what was the last one?
The other one was Pharaoh with the
oh, right. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the sample with Biz too, man, because like that could have been crazy. That would make things crazy if he would really won that. I mean, think about, even De La Soul's first album, all the samples on the sample on that album, those type of things. It's insane. So I'm gonna have to go with Biz on that one. The producer in me would have to go with Biz.
Yeah, and it's funny because this book right here, Creative License, it talks about how PE's It Takes a Nation and Paul's Boutique couldn't be made now because of the sampling. Like, it would just cost too much money. Like, there's no way those albums could be made because of the amount of money that it would take to make those albums. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that Biz thing really changed the game, man. You know, and it's funny because I never really peeped it, but again, shouts to Nick, who used to be on the show all the time. You know, he was like, you think about Pete Straighten It Out, you got 3 to 4 different samples in this one song. Right. Now you listen to Soul Survivor and it's just one sample. You know what I mean? And, you know, I hadn't even thought about that as a producer, but I'm like, oh shit, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, Pete is not taking 3 different songs and meshing them into one. He's just taking one sample and doing it. So it kind of even affect producers like that. Like, I can't do my whole Bomb Squad, bringing the strings from here, bringing the piano from here, bringing something from here. I got to just maybe try to find one thing and hope I don't get caught. Because the more things I use, the more chances is I'm going to get caught or whatever like that. It's like, if I rob a bank dolo, I'm good. But if I rob a bank with the 3 of y'all niggas, now I got to explain to Kel, don't buy shit. JP don't fucking, you know, don't buy no new house. And you know some nigga always don't follow the rules and them fucking buy a new house. And that's how we get caught. So it's almost like, all right, I'm going to just use one sample and hope don't nobody find me versus bringing in this whole thing. And you think about that like, yo, what would not Soul Survivor, Mecca and the Soul Brothers sound like without all that stuff? Yeah. Because Pete made it seem so effortless, because when I found out, like, wait a second, the horns from Straighten It Out is chocolate buttermilk, but it's not the main sample he's running, because it just all sounded like he just sampled from one plate. Yeah. You know what I mean? So just crazy about that. Vay, what about you?
I'm gonna go with Two Live Crew, but for a similar reason, because I wonder what hip hop would have been had it, you know, if there's no parental advisory sticker. You know, would it be different? Would it be the same? But I think in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to the gangster rap, was really like embraced having that sticker. I think them embracing that just made them talk more crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, oh, okay, well, you're saying my shit is, you know, extra violent or whatever it may be, you know, I'm gonna dig into that. Not to say that it was so different before then, because I mean, people still made what they made, but I think there was a certain stigma that came with that sticker that probably nobody thinks about today as much as they did back then. Like, you know.
Now, question, Kel, what was it with the Two Live Crew that they went? Remind me, I'm old, y'all. Did they lose the lawsuit? What was your question first?
So, yeah, if they would have lost that lawsuit. So they won the lawsuit. So
they won a lawsuit.
They lost, funny, when I was researching, Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife, the former VP president, vice president, she started this organization to get it removed because she was like, I think her daughter might have been listening to songs, something like that. Like, what is this? And she started this organization to get them banned and get their music removed completely. So they went all the way to like Supreme Court, and they won the lawsuit saying no, we can, you know, it's freedom of speech basically. You can't limit our freedom of speech. And Yeah, so if that lawsuit, like they said, if that lawsuit goes through, yeah, you have no. And I remember, I think you've talked about before. Cool G Rap cursing, he didn't curse at all in the first album or something like that. You like put on.
Yeah, you put on that second G Rap. Hell, Talk Like Sex was my sex education class. Like that's literally how I learned about sex was Cool G Rap. And let me tell everybody who's listening, that's not the way you want your young child to learn about having sex through Talk Like Sex. Did not work well with some of the things I said I wanted to do to people. It just was like, because G-Rap should not be your teacher for that. But good point. Vag, what you got up for yours, joint?
All right, for my first joint, this is a production thing. Q-Tip beats. What if all the beats he made for others, he kept for either Tribe, like the next Tribe album, so no One Love beat for Nas, no Crooklyn Dodgers, these are all Tribe beats, or he gave it to, or he produced his solo and Fife solo using a lot of that traditional production. And the third what if, I guess, is he produced for Native Tongue, so like, maybe Jungle Brothers gets Crooklyn Dodgers beat or something like that. For me, my preference would definitely be for the next Tribe album, because even though I like beats, rhymes, and life, it was noticeably different, not just because of Consequence, but it just felt different. It didn't feel like Tribe I knew. But when you think about those beats, if you listen to One Love and just hear Q-Tip on the hook, it's like, I can hear that as a Tribe record. Definitely Crooklyn Dodgers. Like, I can hear Fight on that.
Drink Away the Pain. That's all Tribe.
Right. Drink Away the Pain. Like, all them joints. World Is Yours remix. Like,
Gangsta Bitch.
Gangsta Bitch. Right. Like, all of those beats would have made
like
for
Mac remix.
Which one?
Get Down remix. Woo.
Get Down.
Right. Like, and you can't not hear Tribe on it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would have been dope. They probably would have had another classic following Midnight Marauders. But I just always wonder that if the production stayed in-house, so to speak, what would be your preference? So
For me, I'm gonna be selfish. I'm going with the Jungle Brothers and producing for Native Tongues. You know what I mean? Because y'all know I fucking love the Jungle Brothers. And Veg, I saw that joint you was talking about with Africa outside the spot, man. It was crazy, man. It's like, yo, I need a JB tour or something, man. But I just think that would have been real dope. You know what I mean? Kind of like I was watching something on YouTube about like the history of Houdini. And number one, I never knew Ecstasy had a twin brother.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Dynasty.
Like in his name,
Dynasty.
What's his name?
Dynasty.
That's crazy. But I just always thought it was dope when Jermaine Dupri signed them. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, these dudes is over the hill. But it's like, yo, these dudes took me on tour with them as a shorty. Like, you know what I mean? I really thought that was dope. And Veg, I think you just saying that, I'm like, wow, that really would have been dope. Like, yo, the first time you heard Q-Tip was on a Jungle Brother album. You know what I mean? So I just think it would have been real dope if he turned around like, yo, bro, I got these beats. Like, yo, let's do something. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with what he produced for, other Native Tongue groups, but namely, for me, the Jungle Brothers. Kel, what about you?
Gotta stay in House of Queens. You give Tribe. I love the Tribe albums, but except for that fourth album, I'm not a big fan of it. You know what I'm saying? So. And actually the fifth album too. I could say love.
You didn't like the new joint they just put out?
Say it again.
No. You didn't like the last joint? We got it from there.
The last one a couple years ago.
Yeah,
that was dope. No, that was dope.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one. Nah,
the love movement.
The love movement. Yeah, the love movement.
Not a fan. And I love Dilla, but. Nah, this isn't it. So I'm thinking, we keep those beats. Then we got a 4 straight album run. So classic album. Right.
What about you, JP?
Yeah, I agree with Kel. Like, keep it for those beats for that next Tribe album. I think what makes the it would have made them more legendary, and it probably raised their stock in a lot of people's eyes. But not for me because they good with me. But I think keeping some of those classic joints for another Tribe record, I gotta go with that.
Yeah. That's dope. I wrote this whole piece on like what happened with beats, rhymes, and life. And the beats would have been better. I just don't know if the chemistry would have been there. Because to me, it wasn't just the beats that made it bad. It was like Tip is becoming a Muslim. Fife is moving to Atlanta. You know, word got the air that Tip was like and beefing with Fife, and that's why Consequences in play. Because like, well, I could replace you with my cousin, and so we ain't got those beats. But the thing that made me excited about the last Tribe album was like, yo, Fife and Tip were kind of mending their relationship,
Right.
Like, and it was like all those things. But I think if all those things come together and play great, I think we definitely get another. Because even the when I listen to phony rappers, I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, what are y'all like? Y'all don't even see Focus rhyming. Like, you know, like I'll never forget. There's this verse that 3000 has on oh God, what is it? In the middle, we stay calm, we just drop bombs. Two dope boys in a Cadillac, and he's talking about like battling somebody freestyling. And I always thought of phony rappers with Tip on the train battling somebody, and I'm like, nigga, listen to 3000 and listen to your ass. Like nobody was focused on this album. I just felt like this was just like we just all over the place. And I'm with you on that, Kelp. A lot of people blame Dilla. I don't blame Dilla because a lot of the beats that I love on Beats, Rhymes, and Life in the Love Movement are Dilla. I just feel like Dilla wasn't really Tribe's. Like when you hear those beats, when you hear Crooklyn, I don't hear Dilla. When you hear the Get Down, I don't hear Dilla. Like that was the Tribe sound. So I feel like you bringing in this person to bring in this whole new sound. I mean, I know Tip orchestrated that, but it's like, dog, there wasn't nothing wrong with the sound in the first place. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's definitely a good one. All right, the next joint I got up. Boot Camp and the Beat Miners never split. The fun in hip hop never leaves. So that means Kid and Play doesn't get played out. Kwame doesn't get played out. Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince don't get played out. You still can have fun in hip hop. Lauryn Hill dropped the hip hop album when she dropped the Miseducation. So we get that hip hop album we always wanted from Lauryn. And then the last one is The Source Never Fell Off. I'm gonna go with the fun in hip hop never left because that's I think what I love the most. Not love the most about hip hop, but to me, I love the 80s. I love the Salt and Pepper. I love the Kid and Play. I love the De La. I love the Kwame. Like I feel like hard hip hop before NWA was Rakim, and that really wasn't even hard. You know what I mean? Like, or Criminal Minded was hard, but that wasn't even like no shoot up the block, I'm killing everybody, fuck everybody type thing. So I miss that fun in hip hop. I miss that. One young boy asked me on Twitter once, he was like, yo, OG, you said you like Chance the Rapper. I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, but you said you like Benny the Butcher too. I'm like, yeah. He was like, you can like both of them at the same time? And I'm like, nigga, you can like whatever you want. Like, but it just shows me that this newer generation is like, the way they listen to music isn't diversified. You know what I mean? It's like, now with your phone, you tap into what you like. You know what I mean? And that's it. You don't really get a chance to listen to other things. So to him, it was like crazy. Like, dog, Benny the Butcher is all the way over here, and Chance the Rapper, like, dog, these is two polar opposites. How can you like that? But to me, that's what hip hop was growing up. You could love Kid and Play just as much as you loved NWA. You could love Salt and Pepper just as much as you love DPMD. So my vote would be the fun in hip hop. What about you, Veg?
I would go with Lauryn Hill because that's what I wanted, you know, and it took me a couple of listens to even care about what she gave us because I was like, yo, where's the rapping? Like, I thought that's what we were getting.
Right.
And when you hear a song like Lost Ones, Lost One, this is a fucking tease. To have a hip hop record like that start off the album and then, you know, you get it here and there across that album, but it's mostly singing. So it's like the D Rose thing. Like she never really got to do that and make a splash in that way. You know, she just wound up being much bigger than that as an artist. And you know, some people who love Lauryn Hill don't even think about how nice she is with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So kind of wish we got that.
What about you, JP?
Okay. Run it down again. So we got the Fun and Hip Hop, the Lauryn Hill.
We got Boot Camp and Beat Miners never split. So we still get them behind the board. So we never get that horrible second Smith & Wesson album and that We the People Boot Camp album. We actually get the Beat Miners doing that. The Fun and Hip Hop never leaves. Lauren drops a hip hop album, and The Source never fell off. Like The Source magazine is still the shit the way it always was.
That beat miners is talking to me a little bit. That beat miners is really talking to me.
But you know how disappointed I was in that fucking For the People album. I was like, yo, they got to send it to the radio station. I was like, yo, this shit gonna be crazy. I was with Shy and Luke and Bezo and Roots, and we popped that in. We was like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, yo, where are the beats, man? So yeah, but I'm sorry, which one you gonna go with?
That one was talking to me, but I'm gonna have to go with Vague, like, cause I'm with Lauryn Hill, cause when I first listened to Miseducation, I was like, damn, she's only rapping like 10% of the album. Like I was so thrown. Like I trust me, I knew it was going to be some singing on it. I knew that, but right. I was expecting way more rhymes. So I was kind of disappointed initially in that album. I mean, upon keep listening, it became the classic that it was, whatever. But I've always wanted those bars because she can spit. Like she can spit. Like she's proved it to us. That's why people like us, we wanted to hear you spit. Like and we appreciate what you gave the world and all that. But the hip hop heads, we wanted to hear those verses, and we hear stuff here and there. Even the joint that she had with King's Disease 2.
Oh, Nas,
her verse was crazy. Like that's what I wanted. So I have to go with actual hip hop album for Miseducated, like rhyming, like 90, like even let's go 65-35. You know what I'm saying? Right. 65 rapping, 35 singing. I'll do 50-50, something. I needed more than the 10%. So that's what I would have wanted. Yeah, the hip hop album.
All right, and what you got, Cal?
If I wasn't just listening to that Cocoa Brothers album, I wouldn't have picked Beat Miners, but yeah, Beat Miners them staying with Boot Camp. That the whole sound is so. I mean, that's their sound. You hear End of the Stage. You hear The Shining.
Nocturnal, Understand, LaFleur.
OGC album. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, that's the sound. That's their sound. The hip.
You talk about gritty.
Ugh. I always tell niggas that all this lo-fi shit y'all niggas doing ain't nothing but that's all y'all fucking niggas is doing. It's lo-fi OG nigga. That's the Beat Miners. Right. Whatever. That's D&D all day. What you gonna say, babe?
I was gonna say, man, it's ironic that like when they were making fun of the shiny suit era and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
That they made a business decision to step away from the book bag sound when that's what we liked about y'all. But they did it to try to be successful, to try to be like everybody else. They may have not made straight up party records, but these beats was just so generic and different from what we knew that it was like the Wu ain't changed their sound. Like, you know what I'm saying? RZA just upped the quality of it, but it was the same feeling. So, and they didn't give Beat Miners a chance to even do anything like that. So, kind of sucks. So.
It's funny because I see it from two different ways. Because I've always wondered, did they do it to try to sell records, or did they just do it? I think Buck really thought he was a producer and was like, "Yo, I can do what the fuck they do," and it's like, "No, nigga, you can't do what the fuck." Because here's the other problem: you got all these MCs. Nigga, y'all know y'all wasn't feeling these beats. Like, come on. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Like, nobody was like, yo, can we call somebody? Like, fuck, fine. We don't fuck with Walton D. That's fine. But, nigga, can we call Cream? Like, can we call Ski? Like, we could make some phone calls, nigga. Like, these aren't the only two niggas all in New York who can make beats. Like, so it's just like, yo, y'all really went in-house with this shit. And then it's kind of just like you said, Kelp, the whole sound, it was almost like when the Funk Brothers left Motown, or when Barry Gordy moved Motown to LA, and it's like it's a whole new sound. And it's like that's what we loved you for. Even that second Smith and Wesson album, the only song I really fuck with is Spanish Harlem and Bucktown USA. Like, and that's the joint that the Beat Miners did on OGC's album. It's The Storm, and I forgot the name for the other joint, but it was like you saw it getting less and less. You saw it all into All the Shine, and then it was like they did like 70% of Helter Skelter, and then it kind of just eventually disappeared. So I feel you on that.
Let me clarify real quick. I think not just generically switching up to sell records, but there was a stigma with that sound,
right?
That wasn't positive in the grand scheme of hip hop, right? Most of us liked the shit, but the shit was changing. So I think in a lot of ways they wanted to move away from that because that wasn't popular. You know what I'm saying? Right. And just so happens, whatever the hell, I don't even know who did those beats for that compilation because that shit was just garbage. I couldn't believe
it was Buck. I think a lot of it was in-house. Still was trying to do some production. Yeah. Still did the remix for that when they looped up Grover Washington, just the two of us, for the Recognize remix.
Right.
That samples Grover Washington because they were saying how Still went to Evil and was like, yo, produce this, and he's like, I'm not looping fucking the shit Will Smith just used. I get laughed out in my circles. Like, we don't do that shit. So that's why Still just ended up doing it himself. So I'm sure after that, Still like, oh, I could do, because I'm not gonna hold you. I love that remix. Like for whatever reason, I wasn't mad at them using, just the two of us. Like I was not mad at all. Which is crazy because if the Trackmaster would have did it, everybody would have fucking burned down New York City. But neither here nor there. But I think after that, Still was probably like, oh, I could do this shit. Buck, let me produce it. And it was like, cool. Like, me and you do it. But yeah, it was a bad business move. On the R&B side, we get a Ralph Tresvant Dolo album 90s produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. So all that stuff we got from the Any Heartbreak album, it just goes right in the Ralph solo album. Tony Never Broke Up, and followed up the 96 House of Music with another album. D'Angelo's James River album actually dropped when it was supposed to in 2010, and John Legend's second album was still produced by Kanye and had the same feel of his first album, Get Lifted. For me, I'm going with Tony Never Broke Up, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I went to that Tony reunion show. I had a fucking ball. I was niggas thought I was drunk. JR really thought, I was up there singing I had so much fun. I can't even tell. I don't think I've ever had that much fun at a concert in my adult life. Like just hearing me and you, just all of that. Then, Sadiq does his set. Then, it was so dope that we were trying to get tickets to the Philly show too. Like literally, it was like, yo, let's just fucking drive up and just see them again. It was that dope. So for me, Tony Never Breaks Up. What about you, Kel?
I'm gonna say Ralph Tresvant. I think I think he's underrated. Obviously he didn't have the career that solo career that BBD or obviously Bobby Brown, of course. But
which may be the first time in history that's ever happened. That because the lead singer did not have the best. Could you imagine if Michelle had a better career than Beyonce? Like, how fucked up would that be? You know what I mean? Like, or Kelly had a bigger career. So we all kind of thought BBD were gonna be the ones. Like,
I didn't think there was gonna be anything. I thought it was gonna be Ralph, and then we knew that BBD was gonna take off. Yeah, I think Ralph with Jimmy Jam and Terry. Yeah, that would have been dope. I think that would have probably put him in a different place, and he would be better like he is now. But
right.
I think he's cool now. But before he was kind of bitter.
Right. It's hard, bro, man. Like, why would you say Ralph is bitter? What do you think it's from?
I think because and this is his words. I've seen him in interviews recently. He was like, he wanted to start his career. He was like, he felt he didn't get a fair shot at a solo career because he felt that he always had to hold New Edition down. And him doing that, him doing it now is more. He's like, oh, this is my solo career. This is my chance to really blossom and do what I want to do, because I always felt that I had to be, I had to hold New Edition down. I had to be the front man for them rather than doing my own thing. Where the other people, they didn't have that responsibility the way he sort of felt.
Right. Makes sense. What about you, JP?
I gotta agree with Kel. I would have to say having Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis do that Ralph Tresvant, because I agree. Wasn't Ralph Tresvant? Wasn't he the last one to come out? Was he the last one?
I want to say so because the sensitivity, the debut album came out in 1990. So Any Heartbreak was 88. I want to say maybe BBD they may all came out in the same year. Let me see what
year did Johnny Gill come out?
The My, yeah. Because I felt like
Poison came out March 20th, 1990. So BBD came out 1990. And Johnny, but it seemed like they all came out the same year.
Yeah, and for some reason I felt like Ralph was the last one.
Okay, yeah.
I think Ralph, which is weird for somebody who was the lead singer of the group. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I guess, and you know, his album didn't, like you said, he had Sensitivity, which is the biggest hit from, like, I think from that era. I mean, he had other great songs, and him and Bobby Brown had a joint together too. But his solo career should have taken off way more than it did. So having that momentum of New Edition and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis with that album going into his soul, I think would have set him up way better. And you know, and not always associate him with just New Edition, but having a lot of hits he can perform on his own from his own solo. You know what I'm saying? Because out of everybody, he has the least amount of hits.
And JP,
solo-wise.
And you're
right. Johnny's album came out in April, BBD was in March, and Ralph was in November. So yeah, Ralph did drop last.
Wow, that's all. They came out all the same year, which is crazy too.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they all came out the same year.
Kill, you were at that New Edition show in DC when they came to DC a couple years ago. So I think Ralph had the shortest performance for solo that I remember.
Right.
I mean, outside, unless you're a diehard fan of that album, I think that album is good. There's some good songs on that album. But as far as it's really just Sensitivity and what was the slow jam? Before I let you go.
Do I gotta do something?
Yeah, Do What I Gotta Do.
Those two break a heart.
Those were really the only two really big songs from that album. So but it's just still shocking that Ralph. Yeah, it's crazy. I gotta go do the history about who was behind the production, because it is crazy that Johnny, but that Rub You the Right Way was hard. Like I felt like that was the mistake too. Like at that time, you had to have that up tempo club banger, and we know BBD had that shit. Bobby had that shit from Off on Your Own. He was doing shit on Ghostbusters soundtracks. It was better than fucking shit on Ralph's whole album. You know what I mean? So I think him coming out with Sensitivity was just like, where are we banging this shit at? Like, it wasn't slow enough to make one of my slow jam tapes, like Do What I Gotta Do. And it's not fast enough to bang in the club. So who's really... The shit would work great now, the day party, but niggas wasn't having day parties in fucking 1990. You know what I'm saying? Niggas wasn't doing brunch in the 90s, on Sunday. So it's really like, I think, because that's when you're really looking at it from that's it right there. Like, Ralph doesn't have that song that can bang. I don't care. You throw on Rub You the Right Way. That shit still bangs to this day.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? And then he follows it up with My, which was a huge slow jam
record.
Right. You know what I mean? Huge. So it's kind of just like Ralph, to me, I don't know who produced the album, but he just didn't have that same oomph. Because really, that's all I remember off that album, off Johnny's album, is those two songs. But those two songs are so much bigger than Ralph's two songs.
Oh, he had Fair Weather Friend. He had on that.
Fair Weather Friend.
Yeah. He got some joints on the Lady du Jour. He got some.
Lady du Jour. Yeah, he got some bangers. Yeah, he got.
Yeah. Veg, what about you? Which one you going with?
Man, I like Money Can't Buy You Love off the Mo Money soundtrack.
I did fuck with that. I did. But here's the wild part. No, I really fucked with that. But here's the problem. It was on the soundtrack. Like, and again, it's one of those weird things. Like, how didn't Ralph get the best production? These are behind the scenes discussions I want to know. Is niggas like, I don't really think Ralph's the star. Like, I feel like Johnny's the star. Like, was niggas like, yo, Johnny can sing his ass off. Like, if
a lot of people think he's the weakest.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I'm just wondering if niggas was sitting around like, nah, I'm a roll with Johnny on this one, because I feel like he's the bigger singer. You know what I mean? And BBD was just lightning in a bottle. I don't think nobody could have predicted that was gonna, do what it did. You know what I mean? But hey, what you think?
They probably should have dropped Ralph first. Because like those, those other records are going to be monsters, so there's no way he's going to slow down the momentum. But when he got to follow them, and this is the album he has, it just brought like you said, it kind of brought everything down. But yeah, I would go with, only because I don't even know what you're talking about, D'Angelo. What was it? Jack Daniels Backyard? What is that? As soon as you said it, I was like, what is that? As soon as you said it, I was like, damn, I want to hear, what is that? Like, this nigga was a cowboy? Black cowboy. What was it called? Log cabins? Like, I was sitting there holding it in like,
Vega sat back for 12 minutes and heard us talk about all New Edition shit. Like, he had an album, he was working on an album called James River, which is a river in Virginia. So that was supposed to be like the album that was supposed to come out after Voodoo. But remind me to tell you a little bit more about that once we finish recording. Remind me to tell you about that. But yeah, that was the album that was supposed to come out after the Voodoo.
Damn, because I would want to hear, because D'Angelo's the type of dude, he probably got mad music, and he's just, I don't like it, and just stash it away, kind of like Prince was doing.
Right.
And it's probably, we probably love that.
Right? When's the last time you dropped it out?
Who's that? It's been 10 years. I want to say Black Messiah was 2014.
It's been 10 years since Black Messiah?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Damn.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. And it's funny because people be talking, D'Angelo. I'm always going to be open to some new beat. Like, you're never going to be able to tell me there's a new D'Angelo album. I'm not hyped for it. But, D is just one of those reclusive dudes who I never want to be in nobody's pocket. I'm just always intrigued. How do you all niggas live? Like, how do y'all pay bills? Like, you don't tour? Or you're not producing for nobody, you're not writing for nobody. Like how do y'all niggas survive? Pharaoh, how the fuck do you survive? Like, and drop an album every 10 years? Like, Sade, I get it. She probably living on fucking Mars, living off the land and shit like that. Like, I get that. But like, these other people who go like, how do you not drop an album in 10 years? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have a record label calling you like, nigga, like,
probably
we gotta drop something. Like, I'm always intrigued. So, Veg, you want to go with the James River joint?
Yeah, man, because I'd be interested to, especially following Voodoo. And this is kind of cheating, but when you look at the 3 albums he did release, none of them sound alike.
Right.
So I wonder, like, well, what does that sound like? How different is it? Or, did he not do it because it was too similar to do? So I don't know.
All right. JP, what you got for your next one?
Let's see. I'm gonna go a little different route with this. I'm going with, you have to pick out of these 4 whose back-to-backs, who back-to-back album meant more to you. So Is it Tribe, Low End Midnight, Mecca and the Soul Brother, the main ingredient, Illmatic or It Was Written, or ATLiens and Aquemini? Who got the best back to back? I got a couple more, but I was keeping them to 4, like you said. I had a couple more, but
wasn't there an album in between?
Low End and Midnight with Tribe?
Yeah, Low End
and Midnight.
What were you gonna say, Veg?
Wasn't there an album in between ATLiens and Aquemini?
Nah.
Or was that after? The one with what's the one with Stankoni? That was after.
That was after Aquemini.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy back to back.
Right. I ain't even do Enter the Wu and Wu-Tang Forever. See, so go ahead. Sorry.
What you got?
Let me stop. It's between 2. Tribe, of course, but Pete Rock and Main Ingredient and Mecca to me, man. Like as a kid at college, like those two albums to me, I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna say Mecca and Main Ingredient, man.
That means a lot coming from a queen. That says a lot. I remember, bro. You probably it's funny. It's funny the things that you remember and things I can't remember no more. I just instinctively remember being at your crib when you first got the ASR 10 and we're fucking with it, and we was talking about Pete and CL's is on you. You know what I mean? And fucking with the ASR. You know, just talking about how crazy that joint was. Man, I'm gonna probably have to. I don't even fucking know, man. Hey, what you got, bro? I was about to say it, and then I'm like, I don't know, though, man.
I think I'm gonna go with Tribe because at like the first album, I was into Tribe, but I didn't have their first album.
Mm-hmm.
So Low End Theory was like the first time I got a Tribe album, and it's my favorite. I loved it. And when I heard Midnight Marauders, it was like this extension or evolution of that sound. So it didn't feel so separate from the other album that I was like, damn, it's getting better. Like I almost couldn't believe it. Like, yo, they might be my favorite group.
Right.
And that back to back is crazy because people go back and forth like my brother, like his favorite is Midnight Marauders, and the nigga always he don't even let me talk. Like I know Low End Theory is
right.
But just the fact that there's even a debate with that is how crazy you know, one group can make that happen. So
Cal, I already know what it is with you, so we could just pass you.
You already know.
This is the hard part with Cal. The rest of us are struggling. I'm like, I already know where this nigga went. You just said somebody with the area code that was already gone. I'm stuck, man. Because Outkast is who I think is the greatest hip hop group ever, and they're also my favorite hip hop group ever. So I want to say AC Aliens and Aquemini, but Low End and Midnight was just so crazy, man. Like Low End, I'm like vague. I wasn't a big Tribe fan at first. I was like, why the fuck are they dressing like this? But then when I saw like Check the Rhyme video and they had on the jerseys and shorts, it was like, okay, now they regular niggas. Oh man. I'm gonna have to go with ATLians and Aquemini because I do think Aquemini. Here's the only thing that's putting this over. I truly believe Aquemini is one of the greatest hip hop albums, top 20 greatest hip hop albums ever. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree. It's my favorite Outkast album.
And somebody out there is gonna slaughter me, but I mean, and again, this is just coming off the top. I don't know where Low End and Midnight fall into place because we're all older. For people watching, we're old, okay? So people be like, "Kill, then your top 20 hip hop album." Nigga, just slow the fuck down. I'm working on the grant report today. Y'all be asking for some crazy ass shit, and I'm like fucking busy. So because Low End and Midnight are in there, I just don't know where. But I look at it like this: if I have to take a drive to Philly, what am I grabbing? And I'm probably gonna grab Aquemini out of the 4 of those albums. So that's kind of like how I'm gonna make that choice. Just like, hey, I'm on my way to Philly this weekend. What am I? If I had to pick between these 4 albums, so I will do that. But I do have one of my favorite knickknacks. If you've ever been to the crib, I got a million things. One of my favorite ones is the Tribe Low End 45 joints. Got all the joints on 45s.
Nice.
All the 12 inches. So yeah, I mean, love Tribe to death because I know Queen is about to assassinate me, but yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. Damn, that one was crazy, JP, man. That was
I had a couple more to do, but I was like, I'm gonna leave it with those 4.
Kel, what you got up?
All right, so I got Crews Staying Together. Crews and labels, I guess you could say, tied together. Cold Chillin'. Who'd you pick out of the 4? Cold Chillin', Death Row, Hit Squad, Flavor Units.
All right, give it to me one more time.
Cold Chillin', they're stable as far as like Juice Crew. Juice Crew, Death Row, and their artists. The Hit Squad, and then the Flavor Unit. So kind of like the, you know, they're collectives. I mean, they start, obviously they would make albums together, songs together for years, and then it's kind of fractured for the most part, for most of them. Obviously, we know Death Row, you know, the issue, and his squad, we know the issues. But Cold Chillin', I mean, you read the book. You know, they got a whole bunch of issues going on there. And then the Flavor
Who
Unit.
you got, Kel?
So out of that group, to me, it's Cold Chillin'. I just think, you know, the collective of MCs, their longevity should have been longer to me. It is, I mean, I don't know, you know, you got Marley, you got Mr. Matic dying, so I don't know if that played a part. Fly time mismanagement. You know, I just think Kane, G-Rap, Master Ace, you know, Greg G, even Jen, you know, they should have longer runs than that 87 to 90, you know, maybe 91 or whatever you can call it. But after that, like 93, you know, you're not hearing much from them. Well, obviously Kane, not the same. There's no Marley production, a lot of the joints, so I don't know, this kind of fell off. So I mean, I think if they have that together, I don't know what, to be honest, what could have kept them together. I don't know if maybe Marley handles more of the production, because, you know, obviously everybody's, you know, talking about Marley not doing the beats, he's not bringing the records or whatever. Or I'm bringing the records to Marley's doing that, so I don't know. That caused a lot of the conflict, but early Cold Chillin' joints, obviously Marley's in control, and all of the Kane, all of, you know, Rosa Richards albums, I mean, they're all classics, and then it starts to fall off, you know, second, third albums and stuff.
Now, Kel, one more time. Juice Crew, Death Row, Flavor Unit, and who else?
Hit Squad.
Who's all in the Flavor Unit? Who's all in the Flavor Unit?
So you got Latifah, you got
Chill Rob G.
Yeah, Chill Rob G.
Is Naughty by Nature?
Naughty by Nature.
Okay.
Apache.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, what's good, bro?
Yo, what's good, y'all?
What up?
Man.
Good.
I'm gonna go with Juice Crew. Just because I think the lineup was the craziest. Shan, Shantae, Kane, G-Rap, Ace, Tragedy, Craig G. You know, I wish that thing could have stayed together. And if y'all haven't read the book, read the book. I forgot the book is down here somewhere, but definitely, if Going Off by Ben Mirrorless, had him on the show before, so very dope book. It breaks down everything, not just with the Juice Crew, but like Kel said, more about the whole label, Cold Chillin', and just how everything fell apart. I mean, definitely an amazing read if you're interested in learning more about why things fell off the way they did. So I'm gonna go with Juice Crew, because I personally think that was, as much as I love the Hit Squad, I'm like, you talking about a crew with Kane, G-Rap, Master Ace, and Tragedy, and Craig G, like, you know, with Marley on the beats. I think a lot of times these crews get fucked up because there's only one producer. You know what I mean? Like, it's the RZA with Wu-Tang, you know, it's with Premier with, you know, the Gangstar Foundation. It's like you're always waiting on this one producer to make all these beats. You know what I mean? So I think that's the hard part with a lot of these crews. Vay, what you got?
I'm gonna go with the Hit Squad. I was looking forward to that. Like, I was a huge EP&B fan. It felt like every time they introduced somebody, it was dope. From K Solo first was on Unfinished Business, to Redman on Hardcore, then Das Effects on the last album, and they only had a snippet, and then eventually Keith Murray. Like, those are all different styles, different types of voices, groups, soloists, light-skinned niggas, dark-skinned niggas, like everything, you know. And that production, you know what I'm saying, coming from those two, especially Eric Sermon, I just thought a compilation, even another posse cut with Das and Keith Murray in it would have been crazy. So
crazy.
Yeah, I kind of wish that would have happened. So,
All right, bro, did you hear the choices?
Say them again real quick.
So Cold Chillin'. So pick a group that you would like to, you know, or crew together. Cold Chillin', Juice Crew, Death Row, Hit Squad, or the Flavor Unit.
I'm gonna go with the Juice Crew. I'm gonna go with the Juice Crew, man, because you got Who was in the Juice Crew? We got Kane.
Kane, G-Rap, Ace, Tragedy, Craig G, Shannon, Shantae.
Tragedy, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, I feel like we didn't get enough out of that. You know what I'm saying? We could have got so much more out of that. Like this. Those are some like the other choices was good as well. But those are some spitters there. Like we really didn't get like the amount of stuff out of that collective as we probably could have. We missed out. We missed out on some good stuff. I mean, we got the symphony, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just listen to that and think of what else we could have got. You feel what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
Yeah, what you were saying about one producer, would you think if they had more than one producer, it would have been?
I mean, I think it's a lot on one person to produce for a whole crew. Like it's RZA, because then other people have to just sit and wait. You know what I mean? And they you feel like you just sitting. If I'm the only producer up here and all of y'all rhyme, and I'm working on JP's album, and Rel's coming in last, Rel could be waiting for 2 years, just sitting here. You know what I mean? Which is why I think you start getting the spinoffs. You start to get Fourth Disciple. You start getting other people. But the problem is a lot of those producers ain't hitting as hard as that producer. You know, eventually K-Def kind of came up under Marley by the time they got the Lords of the Underground. But K-Def ain't Marley. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the thing. Like, you know, Alchemist came up under Muggs and in my opinion got better than Muggs. But that's not always gonna happen. You know what I mean? So there's always that young boy who's kind of there. But, you know, same thing with Preem. I mean, if the Gangstar Foundation stayed together, I mean, how long is the rotation gonna be to wait? You know what I mean? For one person to do that. I mean, that's a lot of people to come up. And then you want dope ass beats. And trust me, I've been in the studios with niggas who don't got deals and they feel some kind of way. Like, I want that kind of beat you gave Vegas. I want, why he get that shit? You know what I mean? So I can only imagine what these niggas are like, yo, on labels, and I need that for my single. And, you know, so it's a lot. It's like there's only one cook for like 8 niggas in a house. It's like, come on, y'all. I can't feed niggas breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and y'all want gourmet meals all the fucking time. Like, nigga, we gonna have to do some leftovers. So that's just a lot of pressure that's on that one producer to just produce at a high elite level. You know what I mean? Because artists are gonna be like, I need a song as big as Bring the Pain. You know what I mean? And that artist ain't gonna understand Meph's Bring the Pain ain't just because of Meph, it's because bitches love this nigga. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's it too. Like, you got ain't no chicks trying to fuck you, nigga. Like, yo, it's totally different. You can't expect to get the oomph that Meth is getting, my nigga. No disrespect.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Yeah, ain't nobody coming to see you. Oh, like, yo, it's just real, my nigga. Like, so, but again, an artist isn't thinking that way. An artist isn't thinking, oh, I'm not as cute as Meth is, so, you know, let me lower my standards of what. No, you gonna want that same oomph. Why not getting that video play? Well, nigga, he on Def Jam, nigga, you on EMI. Nigga, like, niggas do not think about all those things. You know what I mean? Especially young niggas. These niggas was in their fucking 20s. You know what I mean? And they young. You know, it's like I get it at 50, but at 20, you ain't gonna get why the fuck Ray get incarcerated Scarface. You know, RZA and that probably like, you know, that's my type of beat, nigga. Like, I could only imagine the hell and high water that these one producers go through trying to produce for 5 and 6 different niggas. You know what I mean? It's got to be hard. JP, what about you? Who you going with?
I'm gonna have to go with the Cold Chillin'. I'm gonna go with the Juice Crew because it's just a legendary crew that like all y'all said, we didn't get enough out of them. You know what I'm saying? G-Rap is just, I think those who know respect G-Rap, but G-Rap still needs to be talked about way more. You know what I'm saying? G-Rap was insane. I mean, because Juice Crew.
Well, you know what, JP? Let me ask you this real quick, because Kelv said the exact same thing. Me and him was talking. He was like, G-Rap needs more respect, and I'm like, y'all don't think G-Rap gets like the respect he deserves?
No.
From people like
from the heads, but not
from the heads, but not because the Juice Crew had Kane and G-Rap. Like, those are two. That's
literally like Big and J. That's Big and J before Big and J.
Yep.
Right, and then Kane was lyricism, but then just like Meth, the chicks love Kane. So that rose his stock even that much more. And he was a smooth nigga, but this nigga could spit. He will slice your ass to death. G-Rap was just even talk like sex. He wasn't smooth. Right? You know what I'm saying? So he was just like, he was always, but in his rhymes, he spoke about like, even Road to the Riches. Like he was talking about, life shit. Like those two MCs in a crew, like that's rare. That's rare. Because it wasn't like Kane was here and everybody else was here. Like I'd put them like together, you know what I'm saying? But it's just Kane shined more. But G-Rap was that good, man.
But that's the problem, bro. It's like watching sports TV today. It's like with Boston, who's better, Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown? Right. So it's almost like that. Like that's why these crews break up, because eventually it's like, yo, nigga, I'm tired of people saying you better. It's like how we always said, if Big lived 9 times out of 10, I bet half my sneaker collection that him and Jay ended up beefing. You know what I mean? Because neither one of them niggas was gonna be okay with being an assistant principal. Like nobody fucking goes to school to be an assistant principal, nigga. I want to be the principal, So it's kind of like eventually those two would have started beefing because there's only one spot there. You know what I mean? But only
one spot. It ain't you, man.
I mean, they said it best in that XXL when he was talking about kind of like Rockefeller breaking up. Like, yo, it's only one presidential suite. And me, Damon Biggs ain't all staying there, nigga. Like, it's only one presidential suite. And we ain't fucking flipping coins to see who stays there. So, we gonna say, Cal?
I was gonna say, you talking about, go back to G-Rap. Like JP said, the heads, we know G-Rap, but to put it a point, at Rock the Bells 2 years ago, LL brought out G-Rap. And then last year at the Hip Hop 50, Nas brought out G-Rap. And they both were like, telling fans, you need to respect, like, you need to go listen to his catalog, like, tonight. They both were like, go listen to his joint tonight. He's at the top of MCs ever. And they were trying to, give him his props. So the people who don't know his catalog and stuff like that. So
yeah, I see what you're saying. I wonder why though. Like, I wonder, was it just the songs weren't big enough? Because to me, they were huge, but maybe they weren't that huge in the big scheme of things. Like motherfuckers love Rakim. That nigga wasn't really no sex symbol. Wasn't no chicks chasing after Rakim. Like, that nigga didn't have no smooth operator. But
he was just the coolest nigga in the world.
Cool.
Yeah, but then again, he had those songs. Eric being president is an anthem. Right. Yeah. I know you got like, he had anthems. Right. You know what I mean? That were hip hop. You know what I mean? Like Tim said, if you put on Eric B as president, and you don't start doing the WAP, nigga, what's wrong with you? So, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Veg, what you got up next for your joint?
Shit. So, next I got, careers you wish continued based off of like what they started, basically. So, 3 people. One being Malice of the Clips. I thought Malice was better than Pusha T in the Clips because his shit he was saying, I was like, yo, he crazy with it. But we know what happened. Big Noise. Because Big Noise had all the momentum in the world, like so crazy momentum, you know what I'm saying? Had put that little album out, it was just like, oh yeah, he next up. And Lady of Rage. I mean, you listen to her now. It's like, how did that not continue? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that dope. For me, I'm gonna go with Lady of Rage. As much as I like the other two, I mean, she just reminded us, like, yeah, I see y'all be making y'all lists. What about me? And I'm like, shit, she right. Like, so,
yeah.
I feel you, man. This shit was, I'm not gonna hold you, I was disappointed by this joint, man. I was expecting more from Noise, especially with Have on the beat. We had the Recognize and Realize, and what was the other joint? Usual Suspects. But I thought this was gonna be crazy. I mean, this is a 95 Havoc. Like, I thought this shit was gonna be fine. But I'm with you. I'm going with Rage. Like, I think she was like the biggest what if out that crew, because we still got a Dog Pound album. You know, we still got, you know, Snoop albums from everywhere under the sun, but we never got that Rage album, you know, and I think that's what prevents her from being put on those lists. You know what I mean? It's like, you got these great verses, you had Afro Puffs, which was crazy, we loved that, but then that was it, you know. So it's kind of like, yo, you gotta, you like the motherfucking smart ass nigga who like dropped out of school. It's like, and you like, yo, what about me? Like, well, nigga, you dropped the fuck out. Like, you didn't graduate. Like, we can't bring you up because you got to have a solo album. Just, there's a certain criteria for me. You got to at least have a solo album. I don't even know if Ray.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't even know if she had a solo album. And if she did, she did.
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's the rollout. The rollout. I mean, it wasn't what it should have been. Also.
Okay.
But, you know, that's her. It's kind of like almost like an expected that kind of thing, right? Like at the point in time where the crew start declining, now you rolling out an album and it's not even capitalizing off of the energy she had, because Afro Puffs was on there and all of that. But
wow,
I think it's called Unnecessary Roughness.
I do remember that. Yep, I do.
Yeah.
I think again, but here's the problem: who's one producer for the whole squad.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like that's the thing. It's like, yo, how do you put out music quickly enough? You know, and I did like that about the Wu series that they had, because it kind of explained to you like, oh, okay, well, that person didn't have a deal right now, so he came last just because the deal came last. So, because I was always wondering, like, how are these people getting picked? Like, did y'all niggas draw straws and you guys just got the last straw? Like, why? You know, are these other people? But it was based off the deals they had. So it is crazy with that. So I gotta go with Rage too. Ralph, what you picking?
I'm gonna go with Noid. I'm gonna go with Noid, man. I was hyped to hear, you know what I'm saying, a solo joint. I mean, I'm hearing them all over the mob albums or whatever. And that what was the name of that
Episodes of a Hustler?
Episodes of a Hustler. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a little better, you know what I'm saying? But I just remember I was anticipating that joint. I was like hyped when I got it, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of felt like, you know, it was like the potential was there, but it was like a missed opportunity, you know what I'm saying, for him to shine.
Right. All right. JP, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Rage as well, man, because I don't understand, like you said, as far as when the timing from when Afro Puffs came out to that album, was it years later? Like, I don't know when the album came out. So
it had to be years, like at least 3.
Yeah, Rage definitely deserves our respect, but like you said, I wonder if she even really tried to do something on her own and put out, like, I have no idea. But I just remember her being nice. She had a voice, she had a distinct voice, nice, and she was respected, but without that much product. That says something about a person too. So I'm just wondering what her career would have been like had she put out a couple joints. You know what I'm saying? She probably would have been pretty successful, I would think. You know what I'm saying?
And I think too, it's always that window. You know, hip hop has that window. You know what I mean? So you got to like get in at the right time, because once those 2 years of shiny suits, it kind of was like, you know, it may have been too late. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the hard part with the record industry, because it's like, yo, you gotta wait your turn. You on Death Row is on Interscope. Interscope is putting out other artists. You just sitting here waiting, and you seeing the things changing and everything. And it's how niggas be sitting on the album for 2 years. You know, and then when they drop it, and then niggas be like, it sound dated. Nigga, I've been waiting for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to put the shit out, but they wouldn't. And Cal, what you got?
I got Rage too as well. Same thing. Afro Puffs comes out, you probably anticipate you waiting for something to drop, then you see her on Steve Harvey's show, right? She's acting. She's not even doing music. She's on a TV show. So I'm like, you know, what's going on with her music there?
Yo, let me ask y'all a quick question, because then I'm gonna get to Rel's first one about Lauryn Hill. I was thinking this. Do y'all think Lauryn has, because I've always wondered this, do y'all think Lauryn has the skills to write 3 16s 12 times. And the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of people, and again, shout out to my man Nick. This is what I talk about. Young people, I learn from young people. Nick schooled me. He was like, yo, you don't get into my top 10 unless you put out a solo album. Because writing a 16 12 times is totally different than writing a fucking 48 so many times. So, because I feel like what we got from the Miseducation was a lot of singing, and we get one verse here and there. We get that one verse that she was good for. So it's almost like I'm good. Last time I hooped, I told my man, nigga, you either want me on offense or defense. I'm not playing both. You can decide. If you got shooters already, I will D up, but nigga, I'm not playing both ends of this floor. You know what I mean? So I'm just wondering, because it's like, why wouldn't we have gotten that? You know what I mean? And when we applaud Lauren, we applaud her for it, which her verses are incredible. Her 16s are legendary, whether it's vocab or how many mics, ready or not, legendary. But they're just that. They're just 16s. Like, it's why I'm always going to put Light over Lauren, because you just haven't shown me you can do that. You're like the bench player who wants to be a starter. You know what I mean? And the difference that I've learned from coaching kids is that for the starters, you're kind of playing your position. But when I'm bringing you off the bench, I'm bringing you off the bench for a very specific reason. You know, I'm bringing you off the bench to get rebounds. You're going to defend that person. You're going to do this. So I just wonder, but what do y'all think? Do you think, I mean, and I know it looks like Lauren would have the skills, but she's never shown, like, we don't even, I mean, outside Lost Ones, we don't even have one song of her spitting three verses.
I think she was just naturally gifted at so many things, from singing to rapping, but maybe emceeing is just not in her heart as being a soul singer, right? Or what, maybe that's more what she wants to do, but she's super gifted as being an MC. So I don't know. That's my guess. I don't know.
Well, Vague, y'all the MCs, what y'all think? Because I know for me, if I'm a dope ass MC, nigga, you getting this 48. You getting these bars, my nigga. Like that's like a nigga who could dunk out the gym and like, I'm gonna give you this little layup. No, nigga, I'm dunking on every fucking body who comes into my face. You're getting these bars. It's gonna happen. We gonna remix X Factor and get Primo on it. We gonna put some remixes on this album. You getting these bars, my nigga. They are not just sitting here in the cut waiting, nigga. We'll remix some shit. But we never got that. And that's just weird to me. Like I said, if you know a nigga can dunk and this nigga sitting here doing layups, you gonna be like, is the nigga injured? Like, yo, what's the scouting report? Why you ain't dunking on everybody? This is what we came to see, my nigga. What you think, Zach?
I think she's capable of it. I don't, just based off of her pen. You don't write like that and can't do something like that. But I think it's like JP said, you know, I can't sing, because trust me, if I could sing, nigga, you already know, nigga, you ain't no bars. I'm singing all the time. They be like, yo, you know he can rap. Like, fuck that. And I just think maybe that's because, you know, probably where she, like, not to say that she didn't come up under hip hop, but you know, sometimes a lot of these singers come up through the church or family or something, and it's a little bit more ingrained in them than hip hop is. Maybe it's more like that now because of people like us. But yeah, I think she's capable of it. But you bring up a great point, because I made a podcast a while ago asking the question, is Lauryn Hill almost like a one-hit wonder? Because we hold her in such a high regard. She got one album.
Yo, didn't Apple Music say her album is the greatest album of all time?
Greatest album of all time, and you got one album. And like 50 Cent said, the other album ain't got no beats or whatever. So it's sort of like, sometimes it's not revisionist like you doing right now, because you got to pull back and say, yo, you know, we never really got this, so why are we saying this about her? So yeah.
All right, what you think, Rob?
I think she probably capable, but I think she might be one of them real slow workers, like, you know, people that take forever to you know what I mean. So she probably went with it. And then Vague brought up something that I didn't even think about. Like, she can sing, Like, and if I could sing, you probably gonna hear me sing a lot. You probably like I'm gonna give you some bars, but you know, so she's just probably just that talented to where like she just was doing. That's just what she do. She gonna give you a couple bars here, but she gonna sing and do all that. I think she probably capable. She probably just not a. She probably like a slow writer. You know what I mean? Some people like that.
All right. Well, what's your first joint you got for us?
All right, so I totally botched this. I misread.
You did too. So you
I misunderstood.
That seems to be a theme.
It's all good, bro. It's my bad. It's my bad because nobody got it. So I explained the horrible. So it's not your fault.
I'm pivoting to fit what I. So this one is what overshadowed crew member would y'all like to see get more shine?
Wow.
In there. And I got 4. I got MC Ren. I got Malice. I got Nature. And I got Malik B from The Roots.
Oh, you already know where I'm going. So shit. You already know where the fuck I'm going. So who you got? Who you got, bro?
Me? Man. I'm gonna go MC Ren. I think MC Ren was super talented. I think he got caught up in, with the split and all that, and he just kind of got overshadowed by probably Easy wasn't really an MC. You know what I mean? They wrote for him, but he was a star. You know what I mean? Q was a star, so he kind of just got overshadowed. But he was nice. Like on that second, he was going.
Oh, niggas for life. That's his whole coming out party, right?
He was crazy on that joint. So like, I feel like I just wonder like what would have helped him get shine out, and I wanted to see what it would have been like. You know what I'm saying? So I would go with Ren.
Nigga, you already know it's Philly. Malik B for me, man. I sing Malik. Yeah, rest in peace. I sing his praises all the time. Because it's so funny. Tribe and The Roots really, to me, follow the same like path for me. So like, do you want more People's Instinctives? I was like, it's cool. You know what I mean? I shall proceed. That shit cute. Mellow, my man. Love silent treatment. Love silent treatment. I was just like, this is too light in the ass for 95. This is just too light in the ass for me. And I was like, Malik, I'm like, yo, why is this dude here? I could make a nerd say he's superb. Word is perfect. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And it was the same way I was looking at Fife on People's Instinctives. I'm like, yo, why is this dude here? Like, Tip is the star. Like, this nigga is Bonita Applebum and all of this stuff. And then Low Wind comes out and it's like butter. And it's like, oh shit. Like, this is what I felt like that's what it was with Illadel. Because my favorite Root song ever is No Great Pretender, which is Malik's solo song. So my favorite Root song ever don't even got Black Thought on it. You know what I mean? And for me, being from Philly, like Malik was the Roots. He was the street side of the Roots. When that nigga's talking about HRM, Mogon Sad, Brickyard, The Hollow, that's me and Rel's hood right there. Like I spent my whole life ducking HRM, trying not to get robbed from them niggas. They were like the Philly Decepticons or whatever like that. Like HRM was like that. So when Malik is talking that shit, niggas from Logan came to extort. You know the game. Like, he was talking that Philly shit. In Philly, we say extort. We don't really say you got robbed. We like, that nigga extorted you. Whereas, like, Thought and Quest, they like the music nerds. Like, they went to the performing arts school and all that. But Malik, to me, was the heart and soul. And that's why I think I really stopped being a Roots fan after things fell apart. Because then Malik left. And to me, a huge part of the group left. I know most people love Thought, so it really didn't seem that bad, but I always tell Tribe people, like, Lil Fife, it's not the same if Fife left. Like, even if Tip was still doing the production and it was like, Tip, it just never fit. And then when Game Theory came out, when Malik came back, I'm like, that's no mistake that I'm back. So it's definitely Malik. And I just think being next to Thought, especially after that Funk Flex freestyle, like, he's never going to get his respect because Thought's stock just rose so high that it's kind of like, and then like I said with Nick, when he thinks of Brand Nubians, he thinks of Brand Nubians without Cuba. I think the majority of Roots fans don't even know who Malik B is. You know what I mean? Because they may have came Roots fans because of Jimmy Fallon or later on in life, so they have no idea who Leonard Hubbard is. God bless the dead. They have no idea who Malik B is. So definitely Malik for me. Vay, who you got out of that? Ren, Malice, Nature, or Malik?
Hold on, can I say something about Malik B?
Yeah.
Real quick? Like if you been following the Roots from the beginning, like you can notice the absence of like the absence when he was not around. Like this, like you said, the street element of the group was what he brought to the, you know what I'm saying, what he brought to the group. You know what I mean? Like the because a lot of dudes around the way, like they weren't really feeling the Roots like that at first. Like
niggas in Philly weren't feeling the Roots until probably after things fall apart, if we keeping it a buck. Because niggas in Philly was like, why they keep shooting their videos in New York? Like, why they ain't here in Philly? So, to be real, niggas in Philly, I'm not talking about fucking the Howard University bohemian fucking dreadlocks and fucking instance. I'm talking about niggas wasn't feeling the Roots like that.
Yeah. So it was he brought that element, you know what I'm saying, to the group. So that's why he was important.
And I say this, anybody who thinks I'm fucking bugging, go listen to 100% Dundee off Things Fall Apart and tell me that Malik wasn't bar for bar right there with Black Thought. Like this wasn't even like Malik's getting washed every time. Go listen to Philadelphia Things Fall Apart. Malik was right there. There was no this nigga left him in the dust type shit. Especially on that 100% Dundee. Yeah. So, yeah. Vay, who you got?
Yeah, you're right, man. Well, I'm going with Ren, but I was just agreeing with you with Malik B. I don't think he get enough props. I'm going with Ren, man. When like Ice Cube was my favorite, but on No Vaseline, when he like cooked this nigga like don't believe what Ren say because he going out like Kunta Kinte. I was like, damn, he cooking this nigga, and I like him. Like, I just didn't like that. But when this came out, I was like, I remember why I like him now. I remember that. I think the problem with Ren was that he stayed with Easy on Ruthless. Out of, obviously because they were cool outside of hip hop or on the hustling side, so he stayed with him and he was loyal. And even though Easy didn't necessarily fall off, and he had a lot of shit going on that was popping, like Bone Thugs and all of that, I think Ren took a hit because even when you would see, like honestly, when you would see Eazy-E, you still saw NWA, but it felt like Ren was being left behind in some ways, right? Like Q was, he done cut his Jerry curl, he doing this, Dr. Dre and them over here with a new crew. So even when this came out, I felt like I was the only one like who got it or knew about it. I brought it to school. Like I was this hype man and shit. But niggas ain't care. Even back then, niggas ain't care. They like, the nigga that Q told me. So it's kind of fucked up. But yeah, man, like Ren was dope, and I kind of like, cause I know he had a couple of albums, and around that time, the game had really changed. So I really wasn't checking for him, and I kind of went back and I was like, damn, some of these albums are dope, but all that momentum was just lost after the breakup. So yeah.
JP, what about you?
Yeah, this is a good one, Rel. This is a good one that you brought up. I didn't even think about that from that perspective. So I want to say Malik B, because Malik B reminds me of that saying, like, you don't always remember what people say, but you remember how they make you feel. You know what I'm saying? So whenever his voice used to come in on a song, I used to be like, yo, this nigga is nice. But Black Thought was kind of the star of the Roots, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, but he was a nigga, he was kind of like the Jerobi, but that could really rhyme of the crew. You know what I'm saying? They come in and out, but you knew he was part of the crew. But I always feel like if he was always consistent and we heard him more, it would have upped his stock, and maybe we'd have heard him on other people's stuff. Like they would have been like, yo, I want a joint with featuring Malik B on my joint because he's that nice. Right. Like I feel like we didn't get that. You know what I mean? Right. But the potential was there because you heard it, And it's not just even the wordplay, but the passion. When somebody spit like a spitter, when he get on, it's like effortless. That's how I felt when Malik B was on, like one of them MCs. Like he one of them ones. He may not be what we think he could be, but the heads know he's one of those ones. You know what I'm saying? So that's I'll go with Malik B.
Shit, his verse on Clones was crazy.
Clones,
you know?
man,
It's crazy.
You know, Kel, who you got?
I'm back to Queens. It's nature. It's nature. Banned from TV. I was listening to Blood Money Part 3 the other day. I'm like, he just so slept on. He's so serious. Exclusive off the Clue professional album. I mean, but I think obviously the whole thing with the firm, you know, him getting booted out and stuff, and then Omega coming in, or not the other way around, like Omega first and then Nature. But I don't know, him and Nas fell out. I don't know, there's so much drama that he just got put on the back burner that he just didn't get enough shine. I don't know, and I don't know what he's doing now, but it just never pops off. You'd think after those verses, you would think that he would take off, but
Nature was
Let me say something to you. I Get Pussy with My Father's Features is one of the greatest bars of all fucking time. Of all time. Of all time. I was like, God damn, that's a dope ass line. Like, it's so simplistic. That's the thing with an ill line. It don't gotta be triple entendres. I Get Pussy with My Father's Features. It was like, God, okay, nigga. I like that. I like that. I have to use that shit.
I told you that I can't hear that line the same anymore after Source Money flipped it on him when they worked.
What he said?
what do you say?
You just a pussy with your father's features. Once he said that, I was like, oh. Now I can't.
When did he say that?
This was back in the early 2000s when niggas was just battling. I don't even know why they were battling each other, but I have it too. I have the Source Money freestyle.
Yo, that's crazy.
He said his line first. He said, "Oh, you getting pussy with your father's feature? Nah, you just a pussy with your father." I was like, "Oh shit, I like that line."
That is crazy. That's crazy. All right, next joint up, I got. All of us are of age to remember cassette tapes. You have the opportunity to get your favorite cassette tape back. Somewhere throughout life, you lost it. Maybe it was a Clue tape. Maybe it was something you dubbed off the radio. But your favorite tape you can get back. Going back a little bit on what Vegas talked about, people forget this. Tip had a fire in his townhouse in Jersey. Tip's fire never happened, which means a lot of the unreleased tribe doesn't get lost. It's before Pro Tools, so it's just dads. And they actually pushed back the Love Movement from May to September. So we may have lost some stuff that was really supposed to be on the Love Movement that didn't make it. Jay never beefed with Prodigy. I feel like that whole Summer Jam shit, I felt like that was Nick Anderson's free throws against fucking the Rockets. I felt like after that Summer Jam shit, Prodigy was never the same. Not saying he got whacked, but he was never the same after that. So Jay never does that. Or RZA never had any of his floods. I'm going with, I gotta get my favorite goddamn cassette tape back, man. Because my favorite cassette tape was 3 Times Dope, third album, Major Flavors. The shit was fucking crazy. Like, y'all know me from Morgan. I had a billion tapes and mixtapes and all kinds of shit. That's how good this 3 Times Dope third album was supposed to be. That if I could get anything back, it would be that tape. I don't even know if Arista had it. My man Jace used to dance with his boy Lara, who was down with 3 Times Dope. He got us the album. It was called Major Flavors. It was crazy. If y'all remember the No Words remix, if you're watching, you don't remember YouTube, 3 Times Dope, No Words, the remix. Yeah. That was the vibe of this album, and it was crazy. I truly, honestly believe if this album would have come out 3 Times Dope would get a lot more respect. For right now, they just know for either Funky Dividends, the greatest man alive. That's it. You know, but I think if this would have came out, it would have been dope.
Or no, that's
the Weekend in These album was cool. That was cool, but I don't think that No Words remix. It's, you know, it was similar like when I heard the Can I Kick It remix with the Baby Huey drums. I felt like that was the introduction to what we were gonna get from Low End. You know what I mean? The No Words remix was really kind of like the intro, because the original No Words on the album is cool, but it ain't that. And that remix was like the vibe where they were going towards, so it would have been dope. JP, what you got up? You get your favorite cassette tape back. Tip never has the fire. Jay and Prodigy never beef, so that means Mobb Deep probably has more of an illustrious career, or RZA never had the floods.
I'm gonna go with Tip not having the fire, because I mean, who knows? Like, I'm pretty sure if you know, you lose your equipment, and you might even remember you get all your shit back, your records back, everything. You might even remember how you made those beats, but you probably will not make it the same. It'll be some magic that you'll be like, something's missing. It don't sound the same when I first did it or whatever. So I would have to say that those original things he lost in the fire, I'm gonna need those. I'm gonna need those.
I don't know about you, JP. I've been blessed that there's only probably been 1 or 2 times that I lost a beat. I tried to remake. I don't even try to remake beats. If you know, I'm under the habit of, especially now on the machine, I'll save it like every 10 minutes and just to keep it up there. But because people always say, well, why didn't he just go back and make the beat again? And I'm like, it don't work like that, y'all. It just doesn't work like that. Like you said, I can know the drums, I can know the samples, I can know everything that I use. It's just not, it's going to be missing something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I feel you. Cal, which one you going with?
It's Tribe as well. Yeah, Q-Tip losing in the fire. I mean, if you say that, Beast Runs Life, Love Movement.
Love Movement. This was Love Movement. Beast Runs was out. Love Movement. It was Love Movement.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's probably a whole different sound. I probably would love the album. You know, that's the truth.
All right, Greg, what about you?
I'm gonna go with RZA. I think about that all the time, and that show just brought it all back up. Right. Just watching that, like, damn, like how much more of that original sound was there. Like, is Tikal different? You know, what kind of Inspector Deck album we get? Like, just all these different scenarios. And the fact that RZA was probably like, I don't remember none of that shit. So.
Right, like I was high as fuck. I don't know what I was doing.
Right. Yeah, I'm just gonna get what you're gonna get. My favorite cassette that I like to get back is Chubb Rock's what's the name? What was it? Number one?
Winner is?
Number one.
And the winner is? The one.
Yeah, I'm the one. Right. I had just bought that shit. I was playing it to death. My brother asked to borrow it. It's no problem. My brother was making dubs of albums for me for years. Nigga never gave it back. And I refused to buy that shit. Like, literally, like, I'm not buying it again. I just bought it last year on digital. Because I just refused. I was like, I couldn't even remember what was on there besides, the hits.
Right.
But yeah, that I know that feeling, Kill, because you just sort of like, it's some way, somehow I got to get that. But for me, it was just the principle of, no, I want that one with the barcode, my shit. So.
Right. And I'm about to go back and renege on mine. I need the RZA flood. I don't know. Do I? I don't know. Fuck that. I want that 3 times over. They may have fucked them beats up anyway. Fuck that. I want that 3 times dope. I need that back. Well, what about you, man?
Man, I want to say the Prodigy joint, because that shit pissed me off to no end.
I know you're off.
No, fuck, I'm going with Prodigy, man. That shit pissed me off, man. Like, because, like, yeah, it was never the same after that. And I ain't, man, that pissed me off, man. I'm gonna tell you why, bro. It was so much about, like, Jay's influence was so strong. It's so much about that was corny, about that people don't understand. Like, number one, like, the reason why Prodigy was upset with him is because, like, when niggas was dissing, you ain't say nothing, and then you gonna say New York been solved since Snoop came through and kicked the buildings down. But Prodigy, like, nigga, we was the ones going back and forth with them. How you gonna say, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you put up a picture on the Summer Jam screen when he a little kid, man. Like, if I put up want to kill little kid, you You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't got no shape up. I ain't in no dance costume, but I ain't got no shape up. To me, if you put a picture of a Prodigy now in a dance outfit, that would have been it. But like you said, it was just Jay's influence of look at this wag ass nigga. You know?
Yeah, because Prodigy's grandmother ran this crazy dance studio that all these people went. So he ain't had no like. He was, you know what I mean? So that shit pissed me off to no end. So I'm going with that.
All right. Real quick, got an R&B one. We get a whole JT Justin Timberlake album produced by Pharrell. Janet Never Stops Rocking with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Jodeci dropped another album after the show, After Party in the Hotel, instead of that KC JoJo solo album. Or we get one more intro album before Kenny Green passed away.
Woo! Oh.
I'm personally going with the Jodeci album because I was so disappointed by that KC and JoJo. I felt like these niggas now trying to be boys to men. Like I felt like, yo, we're the beats, we're the raunchy, ain't no fiending, ain't no, none of that. So I'm gonna go with the Jodeci album. JP, what you going with?
Yeah. We need that Devontae swing. That's what we need. That's what we need. I didn't even think about them trying to be boys to men.
Nah, and really, I bought the album like, I bet I popped that shit, and I was like, nigga, y'all talking about getting married and being in love and shit. Like,
I hate All My Life. I hate that song. I hate that song. And it's one of their biggest hits. It's a big wedding song.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful. I hate that shit. That shit. That is not Joe. That is not Joe. I mean, it's Casey and JoJo, but y'all the main singers. But yeah, I would want that album produced by Devontae Swing, a next Jodeci album. That's what I would want. Absolutely.
All right, Kel, what about you?
What did you say? You said JT produced by Pharrell, Janet
Never Stops Rocking with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis when she was fucking with Jermaine Dupri. Jodeci dropped the album after the show, the After Party in the Hotel, or we get one more intro album before Kenny Green passes.
I guess I'd probably go with Jodeci. So I heard something funny you said. I heard Jodeci. I think it was Casey talking about they couldn't do Phoenix, and Devontae brought in like 10 naked women into the studio for him to. He's like, I'm not doing this record. So he brought in 10 naked women into the studio. And he's like, okay, now he got him, got him flowing again. Yeah.
Why couldn't he sing Phoenix?
That's what he said. We're almost what JP was saying. With church going, me and JoJo church going. I mean, they've done all these records before, so I didn't understand what's going on. But yeah, they said they just couldn't get motivated. They're like, it's not something we sing. I thought we did enough records, and so Devontae's like, oh, I got you. I'll help you. I'll help you get through the song. Wow. So
that's the motivation for you.
Yeah.
I just singing shit. They had me singing Phoenix.
That's so strange to me because I'm saying, well, I know people have their own walks and talks with their religion because I'm like, but you fucking married and y'all ain't married, so you having premarital sex, but you don't want to sing Phoenix, like, but I digress. Veg, what about you?
Jodeci. That's my favorite group, man. Like,
I wasn't mad this last album that they dropped about 5 years ago.
I liked it.
I liked it.
There was some joints on there.
Yeah, I liked it. I was not disappointed at all. Mad people were disappointed. I'm like, nigga, like they should sound like them niggas at the end of the 5 Heartbeats when they fucking trying to sing at the end of the barbecue, and they don't. They still sound good. Like, what did you expect from Jodeci in like, what was this, 2018? Like, nigga, like this shit is dope.
Right. It sound like Jodeci.
Yeah. And bro, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jodeci. That Casey and JoJo shit, like they was trying to sound polished and all that. That shit was trash to me, bro. It wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah. JP, we did a show called "What Would Your Hip Hop Hell Be?" And like you have your own individual hell. So like my hell was like I'm like in I Am Legend, and it's just me and Dame Dash. And this nigga will not shut the fuck up. Like it don't matter. I could drown. I wake up and Dame's still talking to me. I could go get hit. A fucking animal could kill me. I wake up. for eternity. This Dame Dash, and then I even added Joe Budden to the mix. On one ear is Joe Budden talking, one ear is Dame Dash. That would be my personal hip hop hell. That for eternity, I am stuck with these two won't shut the fuck up niggas for eternity. Like it don't even matter. You're just stuck. So I feel you. All my life, I also have a hip hop hell where I'm stuck in Walmart and songs that I hate are just blasting on the loudspeaker. And that would be one of those songs. All my life would be on the playlist of songs that would be. And I can't leave Walmart. I'm just stuck in Walmart and like all the dumbass 80 movies, Dirty Dancing on TV screen, motherfucking Footloose, all that shit. I ain't watching that. I've never watched. So I'm like, yo, what is this about? They're like, well, it was illegal to dance in the town. I'm like, nigga, it was fucking illegal to dance in the town. Like, I've never seen The Breakfast Club. I've never seen any of those movies. Okay. None of them. Like, none of those. Like, Weird Science, Revenge of the Nerds, anything like that. I've seen a million. But that Breakfast Club, Dirty Dancing, Footloose,
16 Candles, those
16. I've never seen any of them. I've never seen any of them. I've never seen. The only Patrick Swayze movie I've ever seen is Ghost, and that's because like my girl was like her birthday and she wanted to go see it. It was like, God damn. I didn't see. I've never seen a Patrick Swayze movie ever except Ghost. So yeah, I feel you. That's a hip hop hell. JP, what you got up next for us?
Let's see. Okay, I got a. Let's see. Here we go. All right, I got another one. I did a little different. So right now, as it stands in 2024, who do you want to hear an album from? A new Outkast album. A new Wu-Tang album, a new Dr. Dre album with all, cast of characters, or Pete Rock and CL Smooth album.
That's easy for me. Pete and CL.
That was easy for me too. I'm gonna say Pete Rock and CL because Pete Rock is the dude that made me want to produce. So, and CL is one of my favorite MCs who. Definitely one of the MCs that don't get the respect he deserves. He was always like, he was the MC that sounded like a poet to me. Even with his rhymes, when I listen to him, what he's saying, I'm like, it's still poetic. Like if I just write the words down and read them out, I'm like, yo, it's poetic. So to have them come back and do something like those first two albums and, in that first EP, yeah, that's what I would want. I would definitely want that.
Yeah, Pete and CL easy for me. To me, there's too many question marks on the other ones. Like Outkast, I don't know if 3000 want to rhyme. Wu, I don't know if RZA still can make beats. Dre, I don't know if he makes his own beats. So I mean, with Pete and CL, and I don't know if y'all remember, he had this EP out a minute ago. It was on Grand Theft Auto, which is kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy. It's dope enough to still be on my phone. So it was dope, but Pete and CL, to me, it's just Pete is the only producer from the 90s. I think about this. I heard The Creator when I was in 11th grade. You know what I mean? I was 16, 17 years old. Nigga, that shit, that Daydreaming that him and Common just dropped in 2024 is crazy. So to say that this dude's been making beats since I was 17 and I'm 50, that says a lot. To me, it's just that's the easiest one that I know I would not be disappointed by. I feel like Pete and CL, they're so dope. I feel because I'm very big on even with this Common out, people like, you excited? Before this even dropped, I was like, he gotta come to New York. This can't be no sending beats to LA and he write rhymes in between takes. And so when I started seeing him in the studio and the mayor's hit me like, Com here, I didn't know Com lives in New York now. He lives in Brooklyn. So I'm like, that's what got me excited. I honestly think Pete could just send CL 50 beats. CL could pick 12 and the shit would sound flawless. Like, I just think it fits. So for me, it's Pete and CL because I know I wouldn't be disappointed. I think some of these other albums I could be disappointed by. What you think, bro?
Outkast,
Wu, Dre, or Pete and CL?
I'm gonna go Dre. I'm gonna go Dre. We get the right MCs. I mean, we go off of MCs he kind of affiliated with. I think it'd be dope. I would say Pete and CL. I haven't really heard CL lately. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I missed. You know,
he had a new album coming out.
He ain't really dropped nothing lately.
Okay.
Again, this is where I'm like, how the fuck do y'all niggas pay bills? Like, I have not heard a CL smooth rhyme, a whole CL song in probably 20 years.
He got an album coming out, I think, either next week or the week after with Peter Guns.
I apologize. Let's take a step back. You done got me putting my Twitter shit. I apologize, good brother. Did you just say
Hold on, I got
Smooth has a song, an album with Peter Guns?
With Peter Guns called The Odd Couple.
I don't know which one of them.
I knew it.
Like,
Would you say
he's not lying. Hold on. They got
This is the shit that I don't like about hip hop. Like,
what?
Dumb shit like this. Why does Peter Guns CL Smooth have a group? Like, did y'all know Jerobi and Drez had a group? Like, why the fuck does Jerobi and Drez need to be in a group?
What?
Yeah, they I think they had an album out. Like, this is what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, just stop, y'all. Just stop. I didn't want Lord Tariq and Peter Guns to be in a group. I remember Lord Tariq from the fucking Bounce Squad. Like,
yeah.
where he was fine by himself. I'm like, why you with this nigga? Veg, who you got, man? I'm just looking at Rel's face, like, yeah.
I got Outkast.
Okay.
Because what's different is we know Big Boy still in pocket, but every time Andre does a verse, shit be fired. So he may say like he don't want to make an album, stuff like that, but I think if he was motivated to do one, especially where music is now, like when you look at some of the things they're doing on the jazz side and hip hop, you know, it's like prime for Outkast's sound. So I know he worked on To Pimp a Butterfly also. Yeah, I think Outkast that was crazy, but I don't want to hear no new CL Smooth. Peter Guns, like I don't want to hear that.
Hey yo, I ain't gonna say that. You listening to it? I just listened to some of the first.
No, I'm just looking at the fucking picture. Like I'm just.
What's
the name of the album?
I gotta look it up.
This is called Highway to Heaven.
Highway to Heaven. Yeah, listen to it. It's not half bad.
You ain't gonna get no copyright strike playing that.
I'll listen. The whole that is not how I'm getting my YouTube channel suspended for no goddamn. At least tell me it's the new Pete and Common album. I'm not getting suspended.
Right.
CL Smooth and fucking Peter Guns.
Wow.
What about you, JP? What you going with?
Oh, it was mine.
Oh, you said Pete. Yeah, I'm so distraught by this Peter Guns.
I know.
Shit. I'm stuck. I'm just like niggas just be making groups out of any niggas at the strip club. Like, yo, nigga, you want to be in a group? Like, nigga, how do y'all form a group at 50? Like, dead ass. Like, how does this conversation happen? Like, Cal, what you doing tonight? Nothing, nigga. Come over to the studio. Let's make a group. Like, I get making a group when we was 14 and 15. Shit was cool. Like, after school, like, how do you at fucking 50? Like, how? Cal, who do you want?
And it'd be so random though. Like it be people you
like Jerobi and Drez. How the fuck? Like, where did Jerobi and Drez even see each other at? Where did y'all run into each other at? Like
they're both in Queens. They saw someone
like a native tongue reunion show, and it was like, nigga, what you doing? I ain't doing shit. What you doing, nigga? I ain't cook no more. Fuck it. You want to be a group? Like, let's go. Fuck it. Like. That intrigue, like I be asking my young boys who work with me, my shorties, like, yo, how do y'all like? Do y'all be like, do we go together? Like, how do y'all ask to be somebody's girl or somebody's guy now? Like, how does it? I'm intrigued. So at 50, how do you form a group? Like, I don't know. So Cal, who you going with?
Outkast. Kind of like you said, okay. A few weeks ago. You like, you know, and now LL made a comment too about stop playing the flute. Nobody want to hear that flute album. Start rhyming. We need Stacks to start rhyming. Get about good the flute. I need to hear him spit.
All right, Cal, what you got for your last joint?
So I got producers and rappers. Who'd you choose? Havoc, Lord Finesse, Beat Nuts, or Large Pro? You got to choose one. Best rapper producer.
Wait.
Rapper.
You said Havoc, Lord Finesse, Large Pro, or the Beat Nuts?
Large Pro and the Beat Nuts.
I like how you have 3 Queens niggas, but that nigga thought he was gonna slip that one past me with one Bronx nigga. Who you got, Cal?
I got Havoc.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you took my Prodigy. I think Havoc is carrying Prodigy in the later albums to me. I think he's rhyming better than P. So I got
It's a very dope album right here, Silent Partner.
Dope album.
By Have, produced by Alchemist. So this was really, really dope. I'm going with the Beat Nuts, man.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I know people, think they not the most lyrical, but man, like me and Rel always talk about that, man. Like them dudes, man. Like Juju got so many quotables. This nigga said, "Yo, bury your ass where God can't even find you." Like he just got some quotables. Y'all on some Eric B shit. Like, yo, what happened to peace? Like he got just these little quotables that I just love. But it's very funny because most MCs I know don't like the Beat Nuts albums because they're not good MCs. You know what I mean? but I would actually talk that Rel likes them because every MC I know is like, the Beat Nuts, them niggas? Like, nah. Like, and it may just be Juju and Fash. Like, I was a real big fan of the first Beat Nuts album, where Fash was on it too, because Fash was dope. So I got the Beat Nuts. Who you got, Rel?
Havoc. I have. I do like the Beat Nuts though, a lot. But I got Havoc. Like Kel was saying, them later albums, like he was, like when people were saying Prodigy kind of fell off, Havoc was carrying them. You know what I mean? And to be honest, on Hell on Earth, both of them were going crazy. Like both of them was going crazy on that album. That's prime P. But if you listen to Have on there too, he was going crazy. So I'm gonna go with Havoc.
All right, Vay.
I'm gonna go with Large Professor. I think listening to some of the soul stuff that is out there. Like I remember when he dropped with Main Source. I didn't even know he was a producer. I just thought he was a dope rapper. And then come to find out that he also made beats and stuff he did after that, and even his performance on Midnight Marauders. I just like Large Pro. I think he's consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing about Havoc, because I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Like Shook Ones come on after Prodigy. I'm like, rewind. Like start it over. But he did get way better afterwards, and really dope. Like you said, he's better than Prodigy. But I think Large Pro is just so dynamic, and like he can have a song that feels like it's just as hardcore as a Mobb Deep record, but he not talking all the gun shit and all of that. And that's kind of what I always liked about him, because he could be conscious, he could be straight up hip hop. Like I love his interviews. Like I could hang with him.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Fuck all day.
Right. He just into shit. Like everything was ill to him. But yeah, that would be my pick. All
right, what about you, JP?
I'm gonna have to go with Large Professor too, man. Like like Veg said, at first when I first heard Main Source, I thought he was just the kind of nerdy MC, you know what I'm saying, with the glasses, and he nigga had a mustache like my father had, you know what I'm saying, and young nigga with the glasses and shit. But then it come out he was a producer, and he was not like, from looking at the front door, the faking the funk and shit like that, and even the later albums, like he always. And I always think that some producers make really great MCs because they know what pockets to hit on their beats. They know how to rhyme over their beats. They know what they like to hear. So I think, like Beck said, he's been consistent, and he's definitely somebody. He got a new joint. I'm definitely listening to it. Like when it comes out, no matter what, I'm always going to give him a chance.
All right. And what about you, Cal?
Oh, it's my pick. So that was my.
Hey, what you got for your last joint?
All right, I don't know if I don't know the best way to explain this, but this is more so like crews and having one member, but then that member's out the group and they have a replacement member or someone who steps up to take up the slack. So it could be either or of the scenarios or either or based on the replacement. So I have The Game and Young Buck, because I feel like once The Game was out, Young Buck kind of stock went up a little bit more. Nature or Cormega. I feel like Cormega was fine on Affirmative Action, but obviously when they replaced him with Nature, it was a different dynamic. And this was kind of a joke, but is it Consequence or Jerobi? Because Jerobi on that last album, I was like, this is Jerobi rapping? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. I could see him in the group.
Yeah, on that space program.
Open his mouth on the Tribe joint, I'd be like, man, get this nigga out. He nice, but I don't want to hear him more.
The question which one we would take? Like pick one, like who picked The Game or Cormega or Consequence? Like, or is it pick one?
Yeah. I guess it's kind of twofold, right? Like for me, I guess I would pick. I like the Game and Young Buck joint because I feel like the crew didn't really lose that much with having Young Buck take over, for Game, so to speak. Even though he was there, I just felt like Game had bigger hits and stuff like that, so there was more attention on him. But Young Buck was just as dope. So I didn't feel like, oh, well, Game's not in the crew no more. So.
Okay, so it's like who didn't lose a step. Like, it didn't
right.
Yeah, I'll do the same. I'll say Game and Young Buck too. Crazy how that whole G Unit shit fell apart now, but yeah, I'll definitely go with Game and Young Buck. Fucking around with y'all Queens niggas, man. What J Pass?
Queens, we got out is nonsense, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with The Game and Young Buck too, because I feel like they didn't lose any step with Young Buck, and he brought a different, because he was from a different region. He brought a different energy from the South than the West Coast. So they brought a new dynamic and probably brought maybe even more of an audience to G Unit with that. Right. So they definitely, I feel like they didn't lose a step at all with that.
What about you, Cal?
I wish I could pick Queens in this, but both of them lost a step on those two. So I got to pick Game and Young Buck. I can't say it.
I respect it.
Yeah, I can't.
What about you, Ralph?
Same. I'll say Game and Young Buck. And I think it might have even worked out better because Game was kind of out. How can I say it? I don't want to say outgrowing the group, but like his aspirations were kind of bigger than being in a group. You know what I'm saying? And he clashing with the head member of the group. You know what I'm saying? He think he better than that nigga. You know what I mean? So it's like that. It kind of worked out better with Young Buck being in there for that group because Game went on to have successful career and all that too. So I would pick that one.
All right. What's your last joint, bro?
All right, I'm gonna try to explain this right. All right, so what hip hop death would have changed history the most? And I didn't go with Big, Pac, or none of the more obvious ones. So, number one, Kanye's mother. Sub Rock from KMD. And that is, do we get Doom if he doesn't? Big L and Scott LaRock.
Damn.
Wow.
Wow. What you got, Rob?
Yeah.
I made the question and I don't have an answer.
That's a good one. Initially, in my mind, that Sub Rock, because that MF Doom cult, like that following is something
It's something
different.
crazy.
It's something different, man. It is something different that I'm not fully engrossed in, but I know enough of this hip hop thing to know when that is serious. It's serious. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say that. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Sub Rock. I'm gonna go with that.
I'm gonna go with Ye's mom, because one of my last joint was we get the old Ye back, and I feel like we kind of lost the old Ye when his mom's died. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm with you with them MF. Them niggas love MF Doom like that nigga like took care of them. Like you should love your father. Like I feel like there are people who love MF Doom the way more black men should love their fathers. Like
there was a Atlanta episode dedicated to the whole mystery around his death. Yes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
right.
It was crazy.
Crazy.
yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ken.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Like I almost need somebody to explain it to me. Like what happened? Like why?
Right.
Like you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I don't get it. Like I like Doom. I think Mad Villainy with Mad Lib is a fire album. I love it. Naomi actually loves Doom. She's put me on to a lot more Doom stuff.
Right.
But I just don't get the cult following like that. So I just need somebody to kind of who can explain it to me without badgering me for I feel like I'm on a witness stand and badgering me for 20 minutes. Like I needed somebody who can explain that to me. Kel, which one you going with?
I'm gonna go Scholar Rock. I think think of BDP before he passes, and then after. I mean, KRS is a whole different MC, completely. I mean, to this day, I mean, it's just completely different. So,
I was thinking that, but the only thing is that I've wondered how much did Scott bring to the group. You know, I know he brought the group together and all of that, but I mean, like production-wise, Said G did Criminal Minded. Like, was Scott a DJ Polo? Was he an Eric B? Where it's like, you know, you're the DJ, but you're not. This is like Premier dying. Like, that's stars over. You know,
I'm thinking more the consciousness of his lyrics, though.
Right. Because I'm looking at like By Any Means is a 5 mic classic. Like, when I was 12 when Scott died. I thought hip hop was over. I was like, oh, it's a wrap. Because at that time, BDP was my favorite group. So I'm like, so when I heard My Philosophy, it was like, he still got it. Like, I'm on pins and needles. Like, I'm never going to hear nothing from Boogie Down. I'm never going to hear. And then when I heard that, I was just like, right. You know, it would almost be like if Primo died after Daily Operation and then like fucking Google came back with Mass Appeal. You'd be like, God damn, nigga. Like,
right. That's ill. That's ill.
I'm like, God damn, you did this by yourself? Okay, Keith. Okay, I see you, Keith. You gotta watch this interview with Said G, who he feels B-Boy Records got Scholar Rock assassinated. Yeah. He's like, Scott was taking them from he was like, B-Boy Records was straight gangsters. He was like, this was a hood ass record label. Scott was going to different labels. We was about to leave to go sign with Jive. He was like, they're squashing the beef. Everything is cool. Their bodyguard, RoboCop. He was like, RoboCop, everybody is cool. RoboCop just smacks the shit out this kid for no reason. Everything is cool. They get in the car. They're driving away. There's a fucking sniper on a fucking roof in the Bronx who shoots one shot and hits Scott in the fucking head, and that's it. They did not shoot up the car. It was not like nobody else got shot. One shot hit Scott. That was it. RoboCop disappeared the next day. Nobody's ever seen this nigga the fuck again. Like said, has this whole like B-Boy Records fucking killed Scott LaRock.
Wow.
And the only reason why I'm like, because I'm like, damn, I never thought about that. I'm like, yeah, why was there a sniper? Like, one thing about niggas in the hood is we don't shoot good. And if there's one thing that we can put on our resume, nigga, we cannot shoot. We're probably gonna shoot the wrong person 2 or 3 times before we get to the right person. So the fact that you shot from the roof, fucking, and only hit one person in a car full of people, like, that's some crazy shit. What you gonna say, back?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh. Yeah, so but I'll send you the link because it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but
please.
I was like, damn, that is kind of crazy.
That's wild.
Like,
That's
you didn't
wild.
shoot up the car, you know, it wasn't nothing up close. Somebody, you're driving away and a bullet hits you. Like,
Wow.
Well, I do have a question now. So, what's the benefit of assassinating a rap DJ? Like, what benefit is there?
I would only assume, and it's just an assumption, similar to how people are like, yo, you know, Biggie was gonna leave Bad Boy, nigga died. You know, Pac was gonna leave Death Row, nigga died. You know what I mean? So maybe it was like, yo, because it was like Scott was the businessman. So if Scott don't tell KRS to leave, then he stays on B-Boy Records. You know, that could only be my assumption of it. Is that these are all the conspiracy theories of Big. Well, yeah, everybody like Big was gonna leave. He was gonna do one this, and Big was gonna leave, and now he dies. And everybody was like, yeah, Pac was gonna leave Death Row, and that's all Pac was talking about, was getting off Death Row, and then he died. So it's kind of just like, you know, and if Scott is like, if Said G is like, yeah, you know, this wasn't no real record label. These were just some gangsta ass niggas who had a record label, and your only act, you know, and Criminal Minded, I know it ain't sell a lot of records, but they was the biggest act, and it's like they gonna go to job. Well, if we kill this nigga, KRS is fine here. You know, he don't know shit about the, you know, publishing and all that shit that maybe he can say. And again, it's a far-fetched theory, but looking back at it, because I heard this story when I was 12 and I never really dived back into it. But yeah, working in the hood for 24 years, one thing niggas are not good at is shooting the right person, especially in a vehicle while moving. Like that's some. Hey, what Avon tell Stringer? What String Avon? He said, yo, you need a Day of the Jackal nigga like that, not no rumble tumble nigga like Slim. Like, nigga, we can't take out no Clay Davis, nigga. You need a Day of the Jackal nigga. Like, yo, you shoot a nigga with a car moving and you only hit one person. Like, that's a Day of the Jackal type. That's not black. That's not black from 152nd Street. Like,
that's just crazy.
Yeah, that nigga's going to shoot up the whole car, and I guarantee you, Scott is going to be the one person who walks out alive. Like, you done killed everybody else.
Right, exactly.
But Scott is still alive. There's one thing about niggas: we kill everybody but the right person. So,
I ain't never heard that shit before. And the crazy thing is, the nigga went to job anyway.
Right. You know, they could have
ended up on job anyway.
It was already done, and they didn't know, or whatever. Right. But it was just crazy. It was just crazy. And Vague, what about you? Which step are you going with?
Shit, I'm almost forgetting. Who were the other ones besides Kanye?
MF Doom, Scott, and what was it? What was the last one, Ralph?
Kanye. Hold on. Sub Rock, Big L.
Big L.
I'm gonna go with Sub Rock because I felt like KMD was building some potential as a different group. Like, to me, there was no one like them back then, especially once, like, you know, you saw him with Third Base, but it was kind of like when you saw a Tupac with Digital Underground. You're like, yo,
right.
Different. Mm-hmm. And you know, even that music, even the way he was rhyming, the way he was spitting was different. All that wordplay, I just think like they were building something that was kind of ahead of its time. And you know, Sub Rock, that kind of put it on the shelf, but then he just Doom just kept it going, man, with the persona and the lyrics. And I remember, Kill, you said something about putting up lines on a post-it and just reading all them shits.
Yeah, like supposedly he would write like just little rhymes and he would stick them up on a post-it and then he would just randomly pull them off the wall. So that's why like this stuff. And then I just saw something yesterday on YouTube with Ghost saying that they have an album out. that like got that was done that got shelved or something like that.
They did. Yeah, it was supposed to come, and you know that shit was gonna be crazy. Like with those two.
Those two, you don't know what the fuck is nobody talking about.
Right.
Random shit. It's just random bars.
Word.
JP, you go?
Huh?
Did you?
Yeah, I said
Right.
Club Rock. Yeah.
All right. Give me one more second. I know I held y'all, but this is the last one. Rockefeller Never Breaks Up. We get the Nas and AZ album from the 90s we wanted. Jay-Z does a 6-album run, similar to what Nas did. Or Ray's Immobilarity was produced by RZA.
Hold on, I didn't answer the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Which one? Yeah, you had it and didn't answer it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Sub Rock as well. And I'm like you. I don't know. It needs to be studied, the Doom phenomenon. Like, I remember watching like Tyler the Creator and somebody else. They were like standing next to him and they were acting like schoolgirls. Like they was giggling and shit. Like they were going crazy. Like his following is so crazy. And that death, if that doesn't happen, do we get, you know what I'm saying? Do we get the alter ego and get that following that he got? So that's why I picked that one.
All right. Dope. Yeah, so Rockefeller Never Breaks Up. We get the Nas and AZ album from the 90s we wanted. Jay does a 6-album run similar to what Nas just did. Ray's second album, Immobilarity, is produced by RZA.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh no, you go.
I'm gonna go with Rockefeller Never Broke Up, just based off of the fact that the amount of music. I'm a music hoarder, so it's like I'm thinking in terms of like we would have got that Petey Crack album, that may have been Just Blaze and I forgot the boy's name who was doing a lot of his shit, out of Philly.
Petey Crack.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of Young Guns. Like he wasn't on the Justin Kanye level, but he was doing like Young Gun stuff. Chad West.
Oh, okay.
West. Who was doing a lot of stuff. So I feel like we get a PD, we get the Bleak album, maybe we get that Bleak and Beans album before they started beefing. I didn't even know they was beefing later on in life, but I just think we get a lot more music if Rockefeller never broke up. And I mean, because there's so much, like people forget Cam, that's the Diplomat, you know what I mean? Like there's so much that if they could have kept that unit tight, I mean, you talking like, I'm not saying as good as the Juice Crew, but I mean, if you got Jay, Beans, Freeway, Young Chris, Petey Crack, Memphis Bleak, Cameron, Jim Jones, like that shit was kind of huge. So that's what I got. What you got, JP?
I'm gonna go with RZA doing Immobilarity because I think Raekwon needs that.
Yeah,
my personal opinion.
Yeah,
Because Ghost is my favorite MC in Wu, and he's also been the most consistent. He's had the best albums. Yeah, the best catalog. His catalog is good, like really good. I think, and Raekwon doesn't have that, but we still hold him in high regard because of Wu, his contributions. But that Immobilarity was such a fucking disappointment, man. That shit, yo. I remember being very disappointed in that shit. Right. I think I might have listened to it like 3 times.
The only song I've ever listened to in the past 20 years is Sneakers.
That's the only song I listen to. Sneakers, that's the best song on there to me.
Yeah. So yeah, I think if the RZA was still part of that, and I understand why he went different or whatever, but I think having RZA still part of that, it might have been some more Ghosts on there. We could have got a part, like I'm fine with a part 2. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they did it eventually, years and years later. But I'm just saying, for that, right after only building Cuban links, that Immobilarity needed to be produced by RZA. So I would have went with that.
All right, Kel, what you got?
I got Nas and AZ. The chemistry, more money, more problem, more money, more murder. How you living? This song's obviously Life's a Bitch. They just got great chemistry. I think the whole album with them.
Damn, there was something that they had on this mixtape joint that I can't remember. That was crazy. I forgot the name of it, but it was crazy, man.
Talking about Serious, right?
Oh man, that was crazy, man.
Yeah, that's something nuts.
That was dumb. Hey, what about you? Who you got?
I wouldn't mind a Jay-Z 6 album run, but it depends on who's doing the production. Because I think the key to the Nas thing was, what Hit Boy was able to provide in variety. That kind of helped. But like, who is Jay doing that with? He can do the thing.
One producer, what you say, Mike?
Now, here's the thing that I was gonna say. No idea.
I think he could. I mean, like, No ID half the time.
No ID did an excellent job on that Killer Mike stuff he did on Killer Mike's. Like to me, No ID really doesn't miss. Like he's an incredible producer. He has the range. The only thing that I was thinking about was, could Jay keep me interested for 6 albums? Like Nas, that's something very hard to do, especially at this age that we're at. Nas are in for 6 albums in 2 years, or was it 3 years?
3 years.
3 years.
That run was unprecedented. He has never had a run. He has never had a run like that in his career.
Here's the thing: I don't know if anybody.
Nobody.
At this age, like that. I mean, what Nas just did is something that's never been done before, in the way that he did it. Like, and I mean, out of the 6 albums, I got 2 being classics and really fuck with 4. I really didn't like Magic 2 and 3. They had songs here and there, but KD 1 through 3 and Magic to me are just.
Magic is my favorite out of the 6.
If somebody said all 4 of those are classics, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing. So my only thing is, I don't know if Jay could really keep my attention. Like, what are you going to talk about for? I don't know. I don't know. But I was thinking what you were thinking, Vegas, and somebody said, well, maybe No ID. Like that's they did 4-4-4.
I didn't love 4-4-4 like that.
I didn't love 4-4-4 either.
And he did all that, right? He did the whole thing, right?
I also didn't like the mixing of 4-4-4. Like that one song that got like that reggae feel to it. There's no bass in it. Like I'm like, yo, who mixed this shit? Like, and I don't even got them type of mixer engineer ears. But I'm like, this album's supposed to have much more into. This album, it didn't feel right. You know what I mean? So. But
I think if Jay did a 6 album run, it might be more feature heavy, because Nas's probably 2 best albums out of that 6, which some people say King's Disease 3 and Magic, 0 features.
0, right?
Like no features on the best ones out of a 6 album run. That's mostly good. So
I see Vegas. I see these Queens niggas smiling kind of hard, man. This how Ev got me. Ev called me one day and was like, yo, why is Jay Dilla so ill? And I literally was on the phone with him for like 2 hours explaining why Dilla is so ill. And he was like, so why ain't he your number 1? And just hung up. And I'm like, fuck. Like, damn. Like, damn, this nigga just tricked me like a nigga. Like playing something for 2 hours, then hung up on me. Like, yeah, nigga, like these. I mean, we're kind of making a case. And again, I struggle with this because Ray, you called me on this because I think it was you tweeted me something that Jamel Hill said, like, okay, it's time to break up the top 5. Like, we need it needs to rotate or something. And I was like, nah, my shit is solid. And then Nas did that 6 album run. It's like, oh god, like. Yo, I mean, Rel got big right next to Nas right there, but it's like what Nas did was, and again, I don't think people really are gonna really talk about it. So maybe, God forbid, he should get his flowers before he dies. But I don't think people really understand what Nas just did.
Real.
You know what I mean? With a producer who I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say. Nobody was happy about it. When that nigga said I'm making an album with Hit Boy, not one nigga was happy with that shit.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Your point. I tweeted. Someone was talking about the album. I'm like, who's Hit Boy? Like, oh, he did like Niggas in Paris. I'm like,
yeah, I was like, Niggas in Paris. Nah, fuck it, I'm good.
Yeah,
like,
nah.
I'm like, this shit kind of good. Then KD2 came out. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Then by the time, fuck this. Yeah, let's keep the party going. Yeah, Meet Joe Black. I was like, fuck it, let's just never stop. Like, why are we stopping? Like, so Nas really, Yeah, and like you said, the 2 best albums, no features. Man, that's
No features.
and I don't know if Jay could do that. And it's not skill wise. I think it's more so content wise. Like just the stuff from Beef or when's the first time you heard Nas? Like the stuff that Nas is doing, I just don't know if Jay can do.
I think it would just be different. Like I think Nas is more of a writer and Jay is more about the theatrics. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna give you, he gonna give you some bars. He gonna get, Primo gonna get a track or whatever.
Please don't. Please do. Maybe not. Can we just leave Premier where?
Yeah, because you know what? I was telling somebody, I was like, I love the song on the Dog Pound album, but isn't that the formula we always hear from Premier?
Yeah, right.
It actually, to me, that's like the worst song on that album. Like I respect Snoop for reaching out to the East Coast, but I'm like, it ruined the whole flow of the album to me. Because I'm like, I love the album because it's so West Coast. And then it's like this Primo beat is just like the same template. It's like having a blogspot.com. You remember back in the day, you get your website and it'd be we'll make beats for food.blogspot.com. It's like, nigga, get a new template for your website. Like that website is stuck in 2005, bro. Like, let's get some movement. Let's get something going on. Like, I just feel like Premier is just stuck. This is his template. And it's just, and again, it's not that it's bad, but it's just like, yo, if this is basically Stranded on Death Row Part 2, and that's the beat, nah.
Well, the original is better if you.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's like, but that's it. Like, yo, like I would have been like, yo, Preem, yo, just Stranded on Death Row Part 2, nigga. Go play Part 1 and send me something. I thought that was some Roots back. And this is 95. This is prime Preem. And Roots came to 889. I was like, yo, he played me the beat. I was like, nah, that ain't it, man. That ain't it. He's like, nigga, how the fuck I'm gonna tell Premier? No, I was like, nigga, you paying for that shit, right? Go. He called that nigga, came back with the beat, and it ended up being off the Soul in the Whole soundtrack for Source Money. Watch out for your friends. God, what's the name of that song? It's on the Soul in the Whole soundtrack. Mm-hmm. Everybody out there who loves this song, you can thank me. I ain't already that shit. Because Roots was gonna take a whole nother Primo beat that ended up being on the Moment of Truth album.
Oh wow!
And I don't like. Yeah, it ended up being on Moment of Truth. So when Primo be like, yeah, I hand make beats for people, not all the time, nigga, because that beat was not handmade for Google. That shit was made for Source Money. Source didn't take it. So I'm good on Primo for right now. Like, love him, respect him to death, but it's like, bro, we good. There's a reason people call that nigga to do scratches. There's a reason. Everybody has that nigga's number to call for beats, and niggas be like, Hit Boy and Nas called that nigga to do the scratches. That's like when niggas don't like your cooking no more. When you used to cook Thanksgiving dinner, niggas be like, just bring the ice cream. Just bring ice cream. Bring dessert. Like, bring dessert. Like, we good. And again, here's the thing. If people still love Primo like that, everybody will be using it. That's my thing. Like, people will be using it.
It's more like a novelty now.
Right. Whereas with Pete, yo, those 3 Common songs is bangers, man. Like,
listen.
There's no denying.
Man, listen.
Like, when you talk about Preem, like you said, it's like you do it because you're supposed to. You know what I mean? And I respect Preem. Preem is my number 1A to number 1B between him and Dilla, but I gotta keep it a buck. I can't lie. Like, nothing's been whack, but nothing has been mind blown. It's like Steph Curry giving you 14. Like, those are good numbers but not for Steph Curry. Like, we expect a certain level of excellence from these players, and again, we're just not getting it. We're not. You know what I mean? So, bro, what you got? Who you going with?
I got the Nas and AZ. Nas and AZ joint in the 90s. That would have been crazy. Everybody was asking for it. That would have been crazy. I will say, though, Rockefeller breaking up, Philly took a hit with that. Yeah. Philly, they had so many Philly artists on that label, and they were, I ain't gonna lie, you could say what you want, call me a homer, but they influenced a lot of the style and the
Young Chris influenced Dre a lot.
And on that label.
Biting that nigga.
Yeah.
And think about it like this, yo. Like, one of his biggest songs, that was Emilio Sparks. Really, that was a song that he was writing. Like, Give It To Me was Emilio Sparks. And Jay said, "Let me get that. That's me. Now you be on it, but that's me." You know what I'm saying? Like, so they had a heavy influence, and you know, everybody can hear Young Chris's flow and Jay-Z's flow at that time. You know what I'm saying? You can hear it. So we took a hit when Rockefeller broke up, to be honest.
Well, let me tell you something. First time me and T listening to the Blueprint, coming home, song cry. You don't get a nigga back like that. I'm a man with pride. You don't do shit like that. You don't just pick up and leave a nigga sick like that. T, who don't even listen to hip hop, was like, yo, that's Beans. I'm like, you motherfucking right, that's Beans. Like, you know what I mean? Even the average listener heard that, was like, nah, that's Beans right there. That's Beans flow. You know what I mean? So again, man, you know, I would definitely go with the Rock. But dope show, y'all, man. I enjoyed this, man, because these are a lot of dope choices to make, man. A lot of dope choices to make. JP, what are you cooking up, man? Where can we get some stuff? Where can we check out the old stuff, the new stuff? Where can we catch you, man?
Yeah, you can hit me up I'm on Instagram, JPaz Music, JPAZ Music. Also got my videography popping, JPaz Visuals on Instagram as well.
What's the Bandcamp, man? You got an album out there.
Oh no, I mean, I got the EP been out there for a minute. jpazmusic.bandcamp.com. You can check it out.
All right. Here's a beautiful thing I've learned about the internet. Old shit to us is new shit to somebody who ain't never heard it. You know what I mean? You know, it's old to you, but for somebody brand new, it's like, yo, this is dope music right here. Kel, where can they get at you, man?
Real simple, Bill. Kelvin Davis Sr. on Twitter, at Big Kelv on Instagram.
Two, if anybody out there watching, if your children are going to Morgan State, you need to, and this is not a joke, you need to connect to this man right there. He is the fucking conduit. He is the dot connector for any and all things Morgan. So if you were sending your kid to Morgan State, you were thinking about it, you need to get at him. Kelv, you gotta school me on this t-shirt. Hush. What is this? Because I'm used to you having record label t-shirts on.
I thought JR was gonna be on tonight, so this is for JR. So Hush is the production company. If you think of, it's funny, they I've been adding Unsung and TV One for like 3 months. They need to be unsung in them. So Hush was behind Freddie Jackson, Melissa Morgan, Evelyn Champagne King, Kashif. So they Paul Lawrence. There's like a whole collective that would write and produce them for all these artists. Whitney, they produce for everybody. You look at them. But they're like, no one knows who they are.
Wow.
No one knows their production name.
Wow. Dope. Dopest t-shirt.
I was talking about Kashif, so I was wearing to them.
Dopest t-shirts in the game. Vague, Rel, producing 2 albums for both of these dudes right now. Rel on his Rel Trez band. Vague on his Best Style Vintage shit. So Vague, talk a little bit about Best Style Vintage Part 1.
So Best Style Vintage Part 1 is one in a series of like EPs we're gonna release. I've been rapping off and on for 30 years now, so you know, me and Kill got together and put like almost like a commemorative situation. So there's a lot of just rapping. There's a lot of reflection off of you know, my time back then, Brooklyn, all of that. The first volume features 3 songs. You can call the lead single Hoodie Vegas, you know, just flexing my rhyming style with some bars and let y'all little niggas on Twitter know what it is. If I gotta step off the porch, no problem. But you know what I'm saying, like just getting back to some bars and stuff like that. So it's a 3 EP joint. We got another one that'll be coming soon. I'm just trying to get the songs together. But eventually it'll be an album called Best Style Vintage, the album. Right now, you can go to vegasworldinc.bandcamp.com to check that out, along with other music in our catalog. And also, you know, if you're just a streaming service person, yo, it's on streaming services. Vegas to Kill, Bed-Stuy, Volume 1, Bed-Stuy Vintage Volume 1 on Apple Music. It's on Spotify and all of that. And just stay tuned, because, you know, summer's right around the corner, and, you know, I got some more, you know, I got a couple more in the chamber for y'all. So, you know, and me and Rel got a joint on there, you know, talking that fly shit. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and just for FYI, for people watching, man, me and Vegas got 6 albums out, going back from 2010 to 24. So, you know, definitely a dope discography up there. Rel, It's Not You, It's Me.
Yeah, It's Not You, It's Me. That's the name of the album. It's coming soon, coming this summer. Produced by Kill, executive produced by Kill, my man JR from the R&B Reps. So you know what type of vibes I'm on. It's a real soulful album. You know what I'm saying? Everything, you know, it's I just wanted to do something a little different, you know what I mean? And you know, the theme of the album is a lot about, you know, relationships, not just relationships with your girl, but like friendships, beefs, just life shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's on the backdrop is real soulful, you know what I'm saying? And it's called It's Not You, It's Me. I got Vegas on there, I got a couple other people. It's almost done, about to put out a single soon. And yeah, check for that. It's gonna be crazy for the summer. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick, 2 things. Y'all know I'm the bookworm. Got the autobiography of Rack Low. Y'all know about Low Lives and BK. Rack Low, one of the OG Low Lives. So definitely a dope book. And then we also over at 7nms.com. We got Ev's new album, The Order of the Lyricist, Prophet. It's a 5-song EP. One of the songs produced by yours truly. We got the vinyl, we got t-shirts, we got merch up over there. So definitely check that out. That's the number 7, then nms.com. Go grab some stuff out over there. Y'all know we get me, Kill 889 Twitter, IG. I don't think I saw anything really crazy this week on Twitter. The last crazy thing was
Starting no mess this week.
I didn't. The craziest thing in Vegas, you saw this one because this guy told me name one line Biggie said that rivals anything Big said, and I was like, is this a trick question? Is this like Shock G? You know, like nigga, they the same person. Like, please tell me you know Biggie and Big are the same person. So that was
wow.
Yeah,
I saw that one. I told Kill, I was like, I ain't been on Twitter all week. The first thing I see is some like Big, and they couldn't tell. I'm like, what is going on here?
What?
Then somebody, this is a couple of weeks, but then somebody said about Mobb Deep, they never had any beef because everyone liked them. And I'm like, Mobb Deep? Like, nigga, are you okay, cool. Somebody told me KRS was never nice, can't remember one quotable.
Oh, wow.
Someone asked me, does Supreme Clientele count as Ghostface sophomore album? I'm like, nigga, I didn't know it was anywhere else. And he was like, oh, because he was featured on so many other people's albums. And these are real shit. Like, this is what I'm talking about, how people, you know, change history, because somebody told me, I love KRS, but he couldn't even handle Nelly. What? So I had people telling me that Nelly destroyed KRS-One. So, and then somebody said, because it started off with that, the dude, I forgot the guy's name, Torre. Torre was going back and forth with Rugged Man. He was saying, look, Torre was saying Snoop is better than KRS-One. And I was like, yo, the dude Torre, you know that nigga who...
Yeah. Or the journalist. Journalist, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, whoever thinks Snoop is better than KRS-One needs to be...
Not the rapper.
Yeah, not the rapper, not from Coney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, whoever thinks that should be drug tested immediately. And then all the dog walkers came out and it was like, yo, Snoop is better than KRS-One. This nigga said prime BDP KRS could maybe go at the Dogfather Snoop, but Doggy Style Snoop is untouchable.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
Torre said that?
Yo, I'm surprised.
Torre just said that Snoop would beat KRS in the back. That he's a better rapper. These are just random people on Twitter then getting when I said you need to be drug tested, then this is what happened. Then that's when somebody said KRS couldn't even handle Nelly. How the hell is he going to handle Snoop? And it just, so yes, you have a whole generation of people who believe in their heart of hearts that KRS-One lost to Nelly. You know,
where were they when this shit happened? Because I ain't heard none of that shit.
Here's the thing that I realized, because one nigga got at me and he was like, "Kill, I'm 44. Doggy Style was the biggest album ever in hip hop." And I said, "Bro, I understand what you're saying. Because see, niggas think because we in the same age group, we the same age. No, my nigga. I'm 6 years older than you.
Right.
That means when I was in 12th grade, you were in 6th grade, my nigga. Like, we are in two different points of life. So here's the thing. I can never imagine a 9-year-old to understand how big Criminal Minded is. You're not going to get it because you weren't there. Now, you were 14 when Doggy Style dropped. So I can understand why that holds such a huge place in your life. But you can't just, I mean, you can say whatever, but I'm here to tell you that Paid in Full was big too. Like, of course, Doggy Style was one of the most anticipated albums ever. Of course. But I'm just saying that you can't act like Paid in Full and Criminal Minded and It Takes a Nation just didn't exist. You know, but what I realized at the end of the day, we are the minority. I think the 45 and over club are the minority on social media. So the majority is going to be the 40 and under crowd who were 4 years old when Criminal Minded came out. So there's no way in the world they're ever going to be able to respect KRS-One. What you going to say, Beck?
I was going to say, yeah, and I think sometimes they don't realize what's being argued when they hear these terms. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the same thing. Like, we have a sense of Dr. J being just as big as Michael Jordan. But we didn't really watch him in the ABA like that really know that. But we saw Michael Jordan live and do what he do and stuff like that. And I think a lot of times with them, they keep confusing the sales of a Doggy Style versus the sales of BDP albums, and that's not what we're talking about. You know,
it's a very good point. One dude was like, "Kill, look at Nelly, 2 #1 singles on Billboard for like platinum, like." And I'm like, bro, see, we talking 2 different languages already. Y'all talking this record sales shit, which means nothing because they can be bought. And I mean, like, radio is payola, so. Again, but in their mind, that's where they're like, "Yo, what are you talking about? Like, KRS went double platinum," and you know, those things like that. So that's why there's this huge gap. I had a nigga tell me on Twitter, Atlanta is the East Coast. And I said, my nigga, I'm not talking about geography. Now, let's start right there. Like, I'm just talking about hip hop. Nobody in Atlanta has ever said they're anything but the dirty South. Nobody. Okay? 3000 did not get up stage at the Source Awards and say, "Hey, the East Coast got something to say, motherfuckers." That nigga said the South. So niggas sending me maps and shit like, "Look, it's a like,
yeah, nigga, I know where it is."
Right. Yeah, I tell niggas all the time, niggas like, "Yo, you need to make a t-shirt." I only speak hip hop. I don't speak geography. All that hip hop. That's it. Atlanta has never been the East Coast. A nigga told me North Carolina and South Carolina is Middle Eastern Coast. I have never heard that in my life. Until today on Twitter. Middle Eastern Coast. This is what I literally have a whole notebook in my iPad just called Dumbass Twitter Shit. And I break it down by week. So I can just come up with the dumb shit I see. So every 6 months or so, me and Porch could do a show called All the Dumb Shit Kill Sees on Twitter. This is just a week of some of the dumb shit I've seen on Twitter. That Nelly beat KRS-One, Doggy Style is the biggest album ever, Atlanta is East Coast, Biggie has no memorable lines. I mean, KRS-One. KRS-One was never nice. Can't remember one quote. Mobb Deep never had beef because, quote unquote, they never had beef because everyone liked them. I'm like, nigga, have you ever heard of Snoop in the Dog Pound? You ever heard of Tupac?
You ever heard of Keith Murray?
Right.
Jay-Z.
Beg, I appreciate you. You brought me back because I was talking about Prodigy, and Beg DM me like, "Man, let him live." And I'm like, you right, my fault.
Yeah,
niggas will take me down this path, and I'm like, yo, I don't want to do this to P, y'all, but we are not gonna act like Keith Murray, like this nigga did not get robbed like 10 times. We're not gonna do that, you know. So I will back up. My brother Vay told me to chill. I'm gonna chill. I'm not gonna speak ill about the dead, but there's a reason why his picture cannot be up in Queensbridge without getting fucked up. You know, so it's just Twitter is bad. Twitter's a very bad place. It's like a weird crack house with just so much shit. You remember when Gator had to go get Flipper? No, Flipper had to go get Gator out the crack house. That is what Twitter is like every day. It's like walking into a crack house trying to find your brother so you can get your TV back for your mother. Why the fuck did Spike have these fucking characters named Flipper and Gator? Like, that just hit me. Like, well, why are these niggas?
Niggas are weird.
Like, that's true. Yeah, but
I don't like. Where did you get them names from? Neither here nor there. I will check y'all next week, y'all. Good looking.
All right.